Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
And today is finally it's our long-awaited
Years in the making.
Yes. Our National Lampoon episode. You know, our first. I don't know if it'll be our last. We'll see. It's looking a little iffy at this point.
There's quite a lot of them, but
it is a pool to draw from for sure. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, exactly. Maybe if we do the to be roulette, we'll end up having to inadvertently, against our will, talk about more of them. So we'll find out. But we did pick three very distinct, very different National Lampoon pictures. Then we'll get to those, momentarily.
And
the
question I had before we started recording was how are they National Lampoon movies? Are they really, or just were they funded? Because some of them didn't feel like it. For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I will have to delve into this a little bit, because these are curiosities, is what I would say. I mean, I know I say that about a few films, but these in particular, it is a little confusing. I don't like, is National Lampoon supposed to be like a Mad magazine type of thing, or I should have looked up what they even are. Like, it's like
It was a magazine, and it started the movies.
Yeah.
All right.
In similar vein, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like comedic magazines, maybe like cartoon boobs and stuff. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So anyway, okay, but before we talk about National Lampoon movies, though, let's talk about other movies first. Just to warm ourselves up, or TV shows. Have either of you watched anything interesting lately that you want to open up about?
I saw the Maxine the other day.
Oh, nice.
Is it good?
Was it good? Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, it's good, but it's my least favorite of the trilogy so far. Well, I don't know why I said so far.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is it definitive just a trilogy, or are they going to try and make a cinematic universe out of it?
Probably just a trilogy, but who knows these days?
Yeah.
I only saw whatever the first one was. X or Pearl?
Oh, X. Yeah.
X, yeah.
I just saw X. I've always wanted to see Pearl, and I do want to see Maxine. I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah. Well, I liked X.
X was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it wasn't my favorite horror movie of the year or anything like that, but I'd have to say I liked Barbarian more, just personally. That had a bigger impact on me. But X, I still enjoyed that one quite a bit. There were some pretty creepy moments, like the part with the alligator, like early on, was pretty eerie.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I'd say it was more fun than like creepy and horror. It had horror, of course, but definitely funny, fun.
Yeah.
Silly-ish.
Yeah, it was well made. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And and I don't like all of Ty West's movies, but I do like that one. But what were you about to say?
So Maxine's like his attempt at a giallo, which it was a bad attempt, but I was okay with giallo. It's like a whodunit slasher.
Oh,
yeah. It's like a lot of Italian movies. It was basically like something that a lot of Italian horror movies in the late 60s and early 70s started. It was like this very stylized, sort of stripped down whodunit mystery slasher type of movie, like people like Mario Bava and like Dario Argento and folks like that were involved in those types of movies. And
Pieces was one that we watched.
yes, yeah, Pieces. You remember that one?
Pieces.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre.
Pieces.
I actually, yeah, I used to hate Pieces, but I kind of fell in love with that movie.
I don't remember it at all.
Oh, okay.
I think it was your pick too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a pretty gross. It's pretty gross, but it's kind of charming in its own way, you know. So,
Yeah.
It's the one where at the beginning that little kid is putting that puzzle together, and it's like a porno puzzle, and then his mom has like freaks out, and so he like hits her in the head with an axe.
That rings a bell.
Oh my god.
That does. Okay, that rings a bell. I don't remember. It rings a bell. I don't definitely remember it, but it rings a bell.
I felt bad talking. It's like I thought we were just gonna listen to these guys talk about National Lampoon's movies. And here I am talking about this gross. Well, no, we're talking about X. So
did you watch Maxine, like Tristan? Or
yeah, no, I haven't seen Maxine yet. I do want to see it though. I did see Pearl. And it was actually Pearl was well made too, but I still don't really know how I feel about Pearl exactly. But I did like it though. I think I loved it, but I am a little frustrated with it. I still don't know how to feel about Pearl, but X I definitely enjoyed though.
What else has Ty West done?
House of the Devil, Innkeepers, Sacrament. I think he's done like some short films here and there. I think he did one in like one of the VHS tape, whatever those movies or the VHS.
Oh,
tapes.
VHSs.
Yeah, the VHS.
He did Cabin Fever 2.
Huh.
Oh God.
We might have to watch that one. We have a sequel on the roulette thing, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I guess it's sort of. Well, we'll get into it, but yeah. What were you about to say, Zach?
Nothing. I'm just looking at Ty West stuff.
Oh yeah. What else has he made? Or does that cover it mostly?
In a Valley of Violence. Never heard of that one. Looks like a Western.
Huh.
Oh, it's a Western. Okay, cool.
I must just know the name from these movies, the Pearls and X's. Then I know the name. I haven't really heard of any of those other ones.
Yeah. He also does appear in like a lot of like interview stuff, like on like horror documentaries and stuff. So like, if you've ever seen any of those, you may have like you probably caught his name on one of those or something. And yeah, I don't know. But,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you watched?
I watched Drive Away Dolls. That was okay.
All right. What's that? I don't think I've heard of it.
It's trying to be like a Tarantino kind of thing, but it's Ethan Cohen's latest movie.
Oh, okay.
Ethan or Eaton, like of the Coen brothers, or was it like the Garfield guy?
Ethan, the Coen brothers.
Okay.
But by himself.
Okay. And all right. It was okay, you say?
Yeah, it was just okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't even realize Ethan Cohen made another movie. Like, I didn't really like Macbeth, to be honest. I thought that was kind of like not interesting.
The Denzel one?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a Cohen?
It was Ethan Cohen specifically, I think. Like, because usually it's Joel and Ethan Cohen who like, I think Joel is involved in like the directing part, but then like Ethan's kind of more involved in like the actorly. I don't know how their directing style works, but they tend to work together. But Ethan Cohen's been making his own stuff lately, and the Macbeth one with Denzel Washington was the first one he did, and I don't know. I just had a hard time getting into that one, and I like that story a lot. So I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood or something. But,
That
You
one
just
was,
stick together.
yeah.
yeah. I'll say that one was just Joel.
Oh, it was just
Oh,
Joel.
Joel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get the two confused. I don't even know who's who. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They should just stick together. And
Yeah.
For sure.
Agreed. Their best movies are together. You know, inside Llewyn Davis. Anyway, all right, cool. What about you, Nick?
no movies recently, but a decent amount of TV-ish. I'll start off with something fun. So it was a reality competition show, The GOAT. I don't know if you've heard of it. Probably not.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
It's so the premise is they're trying to find the GOAT of reality stars, like the greatest of all time. They put them in a mansion and do a vote out. It's a vote out type of game with competitions and kind of like, Big Brother Survivor kind of stuff. Survivor. They had one Survivor, a couple Big Brothers, and then mixed with like Bravo reality stars who don't do competition shows, which what like Traders does, which is just interesting just to watch because you see like the people that aren't in the competition shows, they take everything personally, like, oh, you lied to me, you backstabbed me, and like the competition reality contestants are like, yeah, this is a game. Well, yeah. And like there's just stupid drama and like it's hilarious. Like I don't like reality shows, of course, except for like Survivor. I like Traders. And then this one is great because it's hosted by Daniel Tosh.
Oh, cool.
So it has a Daniel Tosh fucking twist and spin on it. It
my
has
gosh.
his fingerprints all over it. He's like he comes in like, okay, so you know me, I'm Daniel Tosh, the comedian. I'm doing this
yeah.
because I need an extra addition to my Malibu house. And he just shits on all of them, all of the reality contestants, all of their shows throughout the whole thing. He doesn't take it seriously. He's like, yeah, what does a reality contest show need but a mid 40s white guy host?
Is there anything better?
Exactly. And then he like even starts doing his own confessionals. Like he likes like the hosts don't do confessionals in any of these competition shows, but like they show him sitting in a confessional booth and he's like, and like you can see the producers off screen. It's obviously like scripted, but he's like, Tosh, no, stop, get up. You're not supposed to be doing this. And he's like, I don't care. And he just starts rambling on, and he like breaks the fourth wall and shit of being, it's just like fairly meta of a reality competition show.
Yeah.
And it just has a very Tosh, like if you like, I love Tosh. I think he's like hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I love Tosh.0. I love his new podcast, The Tosh Show. He's just fucking hilarious. He can like be so offensive, but it doesn't come off as offensive because he's fucking joking, and he just shits on him the whole time. He shits on the whole premise, and it's just hilarious.
That sounds really funny.
Yeah, it's really good. Finished up this week. So that's just a fun fucking show to laugh at. And then
Yeah.
on a more, artistic note, I finished up The Bear this week, the third season of The Bear.
Just finished that yesterday.
Yeah.
What did you guys feel about it overall?
It was okay. Wasn't as
Yeah.
good as the first two seasons. Slow. Like
Yeah.
it was definitely a bit meandering.
Yeah, I felt like they were experimenting more.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like, have you seen any of The Bear, Tristan?
I have not watched it.
The first two seasons are absolutely phenomenal.
Rose and Nick.
Oh, yeah, you froze. I don't know.
Did I freeze? Am
What
I
was that?
frozen? Am I frozen or
You were frozen a minute ago. I think you're okay now. So.
okay? If it happens
Okay.
again, I'll hardwire in. I'm on my Wi-Fi, but I hardwire in if I have to.
Oh, okay. Okay. You can ask if I've watched The Bear. If you
Did
want.
you watch? So you haven't seen any of the Bear?
I have not watched any of The Bear yet. No. So I want to though because I've heard it's good.
The
Or
first
well,
the
yeah.
first two
That's
seasons are prestige television, like
yeah.
hands.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
It's in the category of like The Wire, Sopranos,
Nice.
Breaking Bad to an extent. Breaking Bad's a little more fun, but it's still
Yeah.
like Breaking Bad's like quality. But like the third season is one of those seasons where you feel that it is a half a season. Like it's the third season, but they did there are renewed for fourth. They did there was rumors that they were shooting 3 and 4 back to back, but it was just from what I can tell, it wasn't fully shot back to back. They just shot like when they had there's scenes taking place in out of country, and those were the only scenes that were actually shot from the fourth season. So they wouldn't
Okay.
have to go back out for the fourth season.
Yeah.
And it was okay. There
All
was
right.
but it just kind of meandered. There was there was an episode that did emotionally hit that made me cry the entire episode,
Yeah.
but it just didn't hit the same way the first two did.
Yeah.
There was definitely a change in the what they were going for. It was still good, of course,
Okay.
but again, it ended with like, okay, this is really like it was a full like a full season of 10 episodes, but it still felt like it just was half a season. Like how
Yeah.
all the new shows end their last seasons with a half a season, like
Yeah.
5.5, and then a year later, they'll do
Yeah.
5.2.
Bring
And
back 22 episode seasons.
kind
Oh
of,
yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that fully because there's so much filler
I
in
don't think
those.
I don't think the quality would be there either.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much filler in the 22 episode seasons of dramas, at least. I don't mind 22 sitcoms, but it ended on a to be continued. What the fuck?
That's frustrating.
Like they didn't have to even put the other two seasons kind of had a cliffhanger-ish ending.
Yeah.
But this one like straight up had just it like cut to a to be continued screen. I'm like, okay, I understand that. You didn't have to fucking spell it out. Like,
Yeah.
and it
Jeez.
was just like nothing particularly moved the plot forward a
Okay.
lot. And the
Yeah.
characters kind of like there was more backstory told, which is okay, but there was just not as much forward momentum for
Oh, bummer.
honestly any of the characters. It was just and they say that a lot of it there was the theme of simplification, which is
Yeah.
like what the main character Karmi was trying to do with his menu.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
was trying to, reduce ingredients, and so I think that was kind of the theme they were going for this season, doing simplification, cutting bare bones down to the characters and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
there just wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of momentum and forward moving character arcs. They kind of
Dang.
just ended up in the same kind of place they were last
Yeah.
season. So
That's really frustrating.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was still, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still good,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it wasn't as good as the
As the
first
first two
two,
seasons.
and it didn't, push the narrative forward as much as one would hope. and it honestly did feel like just half a season.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I'll probably take a look at it eventually. I can't do it yet because I'm working on a lot of projects this summer, but during the winter time, I seem to be pretty good at catching up on TV shows over the last few years. So
absolutely, The Bear is probably
Yeah.
currently my favorite TV show there is out there. It's just like phenomenal. Like,
Nice,
Yeah.
good.
straight up.
Alright.
Now this season made me want is a FAC spinoff.
Nice.
Just
The
of that
facts.
whole family.
They're hilarious. Yeah. I hope they never reveal who Francine Fack is too.
Well, I've been rewatching the Mad Max movies, so because I haven't watched for is it Furiosa or Furiosa? I think it's Furiosa.
Furiosa.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't seen that one either yet. I haven't seen anything but Fury Road, and
Oh yeah,
for sure, that's the only one I've seen. Yeah.
well, I love the Road Warrior and I love Mad Max Fury Road. Like both of those movies are like excellent, like top tier action movies.
Fury Road was so good.
Yeah. Not really crazy about the first Mad Max. Beyond Thunderdome, I liked when I was a kid, but like nowadays I'm like, it's all right, But yeah, Fury Road is yeah, incredible. So when I rewatched it, this is the main thing. When I rewatched it, I watched it in its black and white version, and it actually did give the movie a pretty interesting atmosphere. Like, I don't know, when you watch in black and white, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. I like, especially like the long shots of like the valleys and stuff and the landscape. Like it's mysterious, and there is something kind of like ethereal about it. But what was that?
I've always wondered like how much of a difference that makes. Like that and Logan.
Oh yeah,
they both have black and white
They
versions.
were black and white.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yep. I like seeing the black and white versions of a lot of these movies. I haven't watched the one for Parasite yet. I need to, but
The Mist one was great.
Which one?
The Mist.
Yes, I heard. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the Mist one is great. I've seen that. I actually, I think the black and white one kind of gives it sort of what do you call it? Like a more timeless feel, I guess. Like
it was supposed to be in black and white from the start. Frank Darabont wanted it to be black and white, but the studios were like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, no, the Mist one is really good. And then there was another one that I saw. Godzilla -1.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that in black and white. I loved Godzilla -1.
Yeah,
I didn't see it in black and white. Shit.
Oh man, yeah. I watched that with my cousins. When was it? I don't remember when it was, but yeah, like it's pretty. I don't know. It was pretty classy. Like it some of the shots actually did sort of feel a little bit like. So like it could have come from like the original movie. Like of course, you have very different visual effects going on and stuff, but it definitely was really cool. I mean, Godzilla -1 is incredible, but
phenomenal.
Like regardless of what color, whether it's in color or black and white, like I freaking loved it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll check out the Logan one at some point because
I didn't even know Logan had a black and white. Damn.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So, but one day I'll watch the one for Parasite, but I
didn't actually know that had one either.
Yeah,
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, one day I'll check that out, but not for a while. So anyway,
and I love Parasite. That was like my favorite movie of the year. Like one of my favorite movies ever.
yeah, that is a really, really cool movie. Anyway, But we got to stop talking about Parasite and start talking about real quality cinema.
Just trying to
Damn,
delay.
Skippy.
Yeah, yeah,
Putting it
Yeah.
off as long as we can.
yeah. We've been putting it off because we're so daunted by it. I mean, it's this is classy stuff. We're putting our hands on, so we don't want to mess with it too much. The National Lampoon movies. All right, so I guess before we talk about these movies, I guess we should probably maybe share a little bit about like what our understanding of this is. Like, so I guess my first question is, to either of your guys' knowledge, have either of you ever watched any other National Lampoon films? And if so, what do you think of them? What's your general gist of, like, what's your impression of National Lampoon as a title?
For me, just I've seen a few. I mean, of course, Van Wilder, would be the, I don't know, probably best I've
It's
seen
definitely the most well-known one of the modern age, I guess. Like,
of the modern age. Even
yeah.
I can't say like,
I mean, Animal House is probably like the most well-known out of all of them, but
I haven't seen that one, unfortunately.
okay.
Right. But it's just like I don't mind what they go for is the raunchy. It's a spot in comedy that should be filled. And they know their audience. They do it well in most, and not even in most cases, but the good ones hit what they should be hitting is just the raunchy out there stoner frat boy gross comedies, which have their place and can absolutely be funny.
Yes.
And it's not like, highbrow fucking comedy, but it's something to turn your brain off and just laugh at the stupid shit. And it has its place. I feel that National Lampoon does have its place in comedy.
Yeah. Okay. And what about you, Zach? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen most of the vacation movies.
Okay.
Animal House, and then some of these newer ones. I feel like before the early 2000s, they were just normal comedies. And then they started with the if you remember that like unrated DVD age.
Yeah, I sure do.
That's what this feels like. Like they just slap their names on stuff. It feels like for a lot of these.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much that's kind of what I think of when I think of National Lampoon is like direct to video or direct to disc movies about like fraternities and like, there's like usually there's like a couple different kinds of characters in it, like nerd characters and jock characters and like
stoners.
Like not, stoners and like cheerleaders. There's usually cheerleaders showing their boobs, and there's usually like some blonde character or some attractive lady who the main character like.
Again, which is why one of the things is one of the movies is that we did is like, how is this a National Lampoon movie?
Yeah.
Which we'll get to soon.
Yeah, we'll dive into it. But yeah, I've seen a lot of the more well-known ones. I've seen Animal House. I've seen let's see. I've seen at least 3 of the vacation movies. Not counting the one we'll talk about later. And then is the Blues Brothers of National Lampoon? I don't think it is. But
no.
Yeah, okay. I've seen Van Wilder. I haven't seen Gold Diggers. I don't know. I'm not sure what else.
Looking over the list, I don't know if
I saw that one. What was it about the dormitory? The
Dorm Days.
And there's like, that one. I've seen that one. Yeah. I was also gonna say I also saw the one with Corey Feldman and Corey Haim called The Last Resort, or National Lampoon's Last Resort. And I needed a little bit of help earlier with getting the name of it. But you mentioned that I may have watched that with you, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also
And that,
TV
yeah.
the movie. Remember that one?
I do remember that one. Yeah, the National Lampoon's TV the movie. Yeah, I remember that was kind of stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched a few in high school
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. All right. So
I
we're
mean, looking
familiar.
over the list, I don't think I actually have seen many.
Yeah. Some of them used to play on Comedy Central, like Loaded Weapon 1 and things like that.
Yeah.
There's one
All
that's
right.
just called straight up boobies.
National Lampoon's Boobies.
It's on my list now.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I guess we'll have to do a part 2 then. Because yeah. So now you've seen three new ones. I think.
I saw the Vacation remake before this,
Oh, okay.
but
All
I
right.
did rewatch it.
Yeah, all right, cool. Well, never mind then. But anyway, so we chose 3 that I hadn't seen, at least. Maybe you guys had seen one of the other 3, but I hadn't seen any of these 3. So
I saw the
And-
remake. That's it. Yeah.
yeah. And I guess for this episode we're going to go in order of release date. So we're going to start with your choice, Nick. I think it was.
Yeah, I chose. Sorry, I'm just looking at. So they are divided into a bunch of different sections in general. There's
Oh, okay.
original company, which is
Yeah.
Animal House, Class Reunion, Movie Madness, Vacation, Joy of Sex, European Vacation, Christmas
Okay.
Vacation,
Yeah.
and then this is from the wiki, J2 Communications, which is Loaded Weapon 1, Senior Trip, Vegas Vacation, Golf Punks, Van Wilder, Replicate, Blackball, Jake's Booty Call. And then there's just a few more there's just a lot more there's a few made for television. So there is definitely different subsections of National Lampoon.
Well, I might be choosing Jake's Booty Call next, so watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I chose was Bag Boy, because it just sounded like a funny premise that it revolves around a grocery store bag boy competition,
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, does this exist? I looked up. There are actual bag boy competitions in real life. It's a thing. It happens. There are
That's-
actual bag boy competitions that get graded on speed and placement of items.
Incredible.
So it is an actual thing.
I
And
want to join one.
right? I think I
good-
could do well.
Yeah.
I
I'm
never.
actually I'm good at bagging groceries, and I bet you are too. Yeah.
Yeah, Tetris played enough Tetris. It kind of fits the
Oh, yeah.
mold.
Yep. Tetris. Exactly. That's what our minds molded into.
Yeah.
You Tetris your way through the bagging. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
So this is one that we mentioned earlier. I don't necessarily feel like a National Lampoon in my eyes because it's PG-13.
Oh, it was. Oh, that makes sense.
There's like when I think National Lampoon, I think raunchy,
Yes.
disgusting,
Yep.
over the
yeah.
top comedy. This was not that. This was like kind of straightforward. Honestly, anyone could watch and like probably not have fun because it really wasn't that funny, but it had a plot, I guess. Like
Yeah.
a guy,
It was like
a guy wanting to be a pro grocery store bagger.
Yeah, it's an underdog tale. I mean, it's an old school underdog tale, but it despite the National Lampoon title thing, it feels more like a Lifetime movie. Like it almost feels like a movie with like a Christian theme or a message or something. It's actually relatively gentle for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's PG-13. There was literal swearing, zero boobies, no raunchiness. It was just and not even some. I know some of the National Lampoon movies are just like kind of out there and do just wild, crazy, random jokes that don't make any sense but are funny. This didn't have any of that. This had very. I don't know if they just. I don't know how this came to be a National Lampoon movie at all.
Yeah.
Like,
when I think National Lampoon, I think of like dog balls, barfing, people getting drunk, people getting stoned, people getting hit by cars, food fights, just nasty semen encrusted pillow sheets, just the typical silly
weed,
raunchy,
drug
gross,
smoking.
Yeah, people falling out of windows, people knocking their head off of things,
And none of that.
Nudity,
Had
looking through windows,
none of that.
bonking your head off of somebody's boobs, something like that. I mean, nothing like that at all.
Had none of that.
Yeah.
There was like kind of stoner characters, but they never explicitly stated they were stoners. They never said,
they're too afraid.
I'm high, I'm smoking weed. Oh.
Yeah. Were you about to say something, Zach?
Just say they even put a bikini girl on the cover.
Yeah.
Were there any girls in bikinis during the entire movie? No,
not really. No. Like Brooke Shields shows up at one point and like flirts with somebody, and
that was the most. I would say that would probably be the most National Lampoon through line was Brooke Shields was a hot MILF character that one like the most stoner character of the bunch. Like he acted like a stoner, but weed was never mentioned throughout the movie. He was in a relationship with her, even though she had a husband.
Yeah.
But again, there was there was just a bit of not even with him. There was just implication that, oh yeah, I had sex with her in a car. There was really like no actual sexual content in this movie besides a bit of making out.
Yeah, like she gets him to join the military, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The person that had the most character arc.
That stoner guy. Yeah. Stoner guy.
Yeah. Although I would argue that Dennis Farina, kind of a wasted role, but he did make me laugh a few times. I mean, just because of his general attitude, like his general presence in movies, just always makes me laugh. So, but I don't know, he didn't do much in this either. And the movie felt like it was a lot about him too. Like, then I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know how much to say about this movie. It is super slow.
Yeah.
Because I wrote down, it's like 55 minutes into an hour and a half movie is when they start getting into the bagging competition. Yeah. Other than that, it's the characters talking about just stupid shit, their lives and all that stuff. Like, and there's sentimental shit, which you don't expect from, and it's not great sentimental shit, but like, it's the dad, like the main character's dad is kind of out there a little bit traumatized, I guess. It comes up that he was an NFL player for just one quarter of one game. He caught a ball and then just pissed his pants and had just a panic attack.
Yeah.
So like his dad was like just throughout the movie, for most of the movie until of course the end, he was just running on a treadmill watching sports and just not a present dad.
It was kind of sad, actually. It was like I don't know. I don't know if they were trying to be funny with it, but it's really depressing.
Yeah. Um the Dennis Farina character was kind of like a older jaded guy, alcoholic,
Hmm.
and like
Yeah, not a good dude, but he does the right thing.
yeah. And like you could it starts off with, the main character bagging, shows some potential, but always screwing up, dropping something at the end.
Yeah.
Um, there's always the mention of the competitions of bag
Mhm.
boys, and he has potential, but always missing something.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It just doesn't quite. But like you said, it is pretty slow. Like,
so slow. Like
you
it,
know,
it literally doesn't start the bag boy stuff until 55 minutes into an hour and a half movie.
hmm
So you're like,
Yeah,
what
you
the
had that one scene at the beginning, which I thought that was going to be the main character, the douchebag guy.
yeah, I think it,
whirlwind? Or
Yeah,
whirlwind, I think.
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I think he would have made it a funnier movie if that was the main character.
Yeah.
me too. Yeah, like as soon as he was introduced, I was like, oh great, all right, it's this kind of movie. This is gonna be fun. But
Yeah,
then it followed this other dude who's like miserable, and it's like it's kind of not what I expected.
yeah, not at all. It was Windmill, that guy.
Windmill, right?
Windmill,
Windmill.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Um, the other side characters, there's a guy. Shit, how do I say this? What's the correct term? I don't know. African American
Like a
black guy.
the token black
The
guy.
token black guy. He
Yeah.
was trying to become a rap artist, but the town this takes place in is like suburbs, middle white America, and he's like kind of a normal dude that is just
Yeah.
happens to be black and like tries to make a rap album, and just gets denied because he goes to the record label saying, "Have you been arrested?" And they say, "Have you been arrested? Have you gotten this and that?" And he's like, "No,
Yeah.
no." And there's like a decent ish funny like his I don't know, none of this is really funny, so
Yeah.
take that with a
Yeah.
grain of salt. But he's
Yeah.
like one scene is like it's 11:55 at night and he's walking around trying to act tough and like the cop comes up to him and is like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "What? You checking me out because I'm black?" He's like, the cops are like, "Oh no, there's this lost kitten in town. Have you seen him?" And she's like, "No." "What? You think I stole it?" "No." He's trying to up his cred. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. It was, and there was like that one moment where, yeah, he like didn't get the record deal, and he's like, "Man, I like 22 songs, and I talked crap about white people on 8 of them, and I still didn't get a record deal or
yeah.
whatever." Like, I forget
And
what he said.
and
But
there was one little scene where he's like checking an old lady bagging it out. And he's like, "You scared of me, right?" And the old
yeah,
lady was like, "No, I've had 2 black husbands."
I could use another or whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like he's even like he like one line he threw away is like, "Ah, damn it, all these terrorists are hogging all the attention."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, she doesn't even call him. She says I've had 2 coloreds, and I
Two
wish I could have
coloreds.
another.
Yes, he
Yeah.
says 2 coloreds. Yes.
I don't know, maybe that's the edgiest part of the movie.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like it.
It's not edgy, it's PG-13 at
Yeah,
all. It's
yeah,
like
yeah. It's almost PG.
yeah, it doesn't go
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
Which I was
yeah,
disappointed with a National Lampoon movie.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I
Um
was, yeah.
there's the main love interest Bambi.
Oh yeah, she does like basically nothing.
Yeah, she has anger issues.
Yeah,
But she is the love interest of the main character, Phil, who's the guy trying to do bagging.
yeah, yeah,
His aspirations are to be a bag professional champion. It's like, what
yeah,
the fuck?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. But
yeah.
So eventually Marty is Dennis Farina's character, like the hard ass kind of
Yeah.
blah blah blah. He starts taking him under his wing. They do a little grocery bagging montage of 22 cities.
Hmm.
Starts out with him, going against just children. And
Yeah.
then there's him going against teenagers. And then there's just one random fucking ass. They go against a lesbian bagging competition where
That
they're
was,
in drag. And then
yeah.
they won and they figured out you're not women. And they were like booking into their car. And
Yeah. That was funny.
it was, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, let's see. Uh, yeah, I mean, it all kind of leads to the big climax, but it just not a lot of surprises really, like along the way.
Yeah. So during the tour, they go to the Bagging Hall of Fame, which is like in the back of, I forget what kind of store. It was just a random like, it was like, oh
Like
yeah, it's
a
in the
nail
back.
salon or something.
Yeah, yeah, it was just
I
stupid.
think so.
And it shows that Babe Ruth was one of the greatest
Yeah,
baggers of all time, and the Marty
yeah.
character was like, oh, if only he didn't give up bagging to go play baseball. And then during the end,
Yeah.
it's revealed that Bambi, the female lead, was named after him,
Oh, there you go.
and it is
Should have
revealed
known.
that she is the child of this Marty guy, the
Hmm.
illegitimate lost child of Marty,
Yeah.
uh, Dennis Farina's character.
Okay.
Um, so
Yeah,
there's
that was
that.
that was like the biggest. That was probably the most interesting part of the movie. I mean, if at least if you like soap operas, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a movie that had some kind of script that was probably more about that type of stuff, but they couldn't figure out a way to make a plot out of it. And then National Lampoon decide, like maybe they bought the script and thought, oh, let's make it about bag boys. And then for whatever reason, they decided to make it like a borderline family comedy.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And like Alfonso, they find him in a church choir.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I just love singing, man. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
There is like a mid act, like
Oh yeah.
before they go on to the comp, the
Yeah.
montage of 22 comp. Phil gets fired for stealing a raisin. He just kind of plucks a raisin out the thing. And Zach, I worked with you in a grocery store.
Yeah.
I ate shit all the fucking time.
Yep.
Oops, I cut this bag of M&Ms. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glump, glump, glump. Yeah. Nice.
So he gets fired for eating one chocolate covered raisin M&M, but it was actually because Marty saw himself in him and he doesn't want him to turn out like him, kind of thing.
Somebody who steals raisins from the grocery store. Yeah.
But yeah, eventually he takes him under his wing to do a competition. There's this weird scene with a one-on-one competition, and like it's like a weird culty type thing where this guy is like chained up and saying, please let me win or I'll die or some shit. So Phil lets him win, and then Marty's like, oh, you don't have what it takes, that was just a lie.
Yeah.
But you see him later like escaping like through
the guy's shooting at him.
And his children.
Yeah, and his children. Yeah, that was kind of messed up. I guess that was sort of a National Lampoon-y type of moment.
Yeah.
That was probably the only thing I laughed at.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't say I can really remember anything I laughed at.
Yeah. It wasn't much. wasn't much to laugh at. It was barely even a comedy. Like there were jokes, but it wasn't like smart jokes or anything like that. It was more just like clever.
There was that bit about him having some testicular
Mm.
problem. I didn't know what that had to do with anything.
Yep, he had a problem with his testicles. Yeah, I don't know.
Don't,
They talked about balls. There's a National Lampoon thing.
yeah, didn't matter. I don't. It was just thrown in because I don't know what the hell that had to do with anything.
Yeah, yeah, it really wasn't important. I don't know. It was just to add more drama. This movie didn't have enough of it, apparently. So.
Um,
I definitely had breast cancer.
let's see. Training. Uh, there's a after he takes him back again. There's a training little montage of him doing blindfolded bagging.
Yeah, that was stupid.
He was throwing eggs at him while he's blindfolded, or while he was bagging, shooting a Nerf gun at him while he's blindfolded.
Yeah.
Kind of National Lampoony, but there was girls hula hooping to distract him, but they weren't topless. They were just in honestly conservative bikinis. It wasn't even like very revealing. It was just like tops and like shorts, like not even like an actual bikini. It was like, okay. And then afterwards it was like two like Chippendale models. It was like, I don't know what you're into.
Yeah.
It could help. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that was another goofy joke, the confused male stripper.
Yeah.
And they're doing the stupid trick moves, just like spinning the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's a bit where the main bad guy, who's like the manager of Windmill.
Yeah.
He like confronts fucking what's his name? Marty and Dennis Farina's character to place a bet for $20,000. I didn't really get what the bet was. I thought, is he gonna try and make him throw it? I don't think that was it. I guess he just bet on Phil to win. I don't really like, how is that like? There's really no point to it, because you would think the point would be that I want you to throw it and I'll give you $20,000.
Yeah.
Fuck up Phil, make him lose. But no, I think it was just a bet on the game, on the competition.
Yeah.
Which didn't really, I was like, I didn't get it. Okay.
Yeah. They were just trying to make it more like a sports movie,
make it more dramatic.
Yeah.
Which really doesn't add up into the sports movie genre either, because it was just like, well, I was already rooting for you, but now that I have $20,000 on the line, I'm rooting for you more.
Yeah.
Which is like, not like, if it's a sports movie, you kind of do the, I'm having this moral dilemma where I want you to win because I believe in you, but I also want the $20,000, so I want you to lose. But it wasn't that. It was, I bet $20,000 for my boy to win.
Yeah.
So it was like, what?
And then he wins.
Why did that? Yeah. Spoiler, he wins.
Yeah.
Happy ending.
Yeah. No
kissing.
Drama.
Yeah. There was a bit of kissing.
Oh, there was. Yeah, I forgot about that. Not even a fart joke.
I don't know, fart jokes in this.
Yeah, I don't think there was a fart
at all.
I mean, was there? I don't think there was. I think this was
so.
absent. Yeah. Actually, I don't even remember if there's fart jokes in the other. Oh, well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But
it ends. Okay, so it ends. The competition, the bad guy lets out a fly, which was like in the beginning of the movie, but Marty catches it. I don't know if that's allowed. I don't know. Like that's kind of interference, I would say, from
Yeah,
both ends. Maybe we could, but
I agree.
uh, and then Alfonso kicks Windmill in the nuts
Yeah, that was
and
funny.
and gets arrested to get his cred.
Mhm.
Uh, the dad asks for his daughter's first dance. He's like, "Get your hands off my daughter. I want to give her a dance."
That was so random.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the most random thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind
that's
of
about it.
dumb. Yeah,
It's like, why is this a National Lampoon movie?
yeah. Why is it even a movie? Period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the fuck was the
Yeah,
point of any of this?
yeah. This kind of sucked.
Like, I think the premise of being a funny comedy is there because it's an absolute stupid thing to have.
Yeah,
I mean, no offense to, because it is an actual competition in the
it
real
is.
world. People do it, and it
Yeah,
actually is kind of decent fun. Like,
yeah,
people eat hot dogs for competitions. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
this is actually has some type of skill involved with
yeah,
stacking and
yeah,
building bags. So, like,
yeah. And this movie's just not about that at all. Basically,
no,
yeah,
and it has some, yeah, it has that merit to
okay,
an actual like thing that exists, but
okay,
still silly, but like
yeah,
it doesn't really play off that, in my
okay,
opinion. Like it's just like,
yeah. So, all right. So, what you're saying is, if they are going to make a movie about the sport of grocery bagging, this is not the one to see. There's a better
no.
one that should exist, and this
Yeah,
is
that
the
should
one.
actually focus on the sport of it.
Yeah,
Because again, it didn't, like I wrote down, didn't actually focus on the sport of it till 55 minutes in
yeah,
to an hour and a half long movie.
yeah, yeah,
Like make it
exactly.
silly, yeah, make like
Yeah,
jokes on how goofy this kind of competition is from the get-go.
yeah,
And like they didn't do any of that. It was drama-ish,
yeah.
very
Some,
little comedy, and it was like,
yeah,
how the fuck, like this is the movie of the three that I wonder why it's a National Lampoon movie. Was it
yeah,
just like on the list for cheap and National Lampoon just bought it up? It's PG-13. I don't think any National Lampoon movies should be PG-13. They should all be
yeah,
rated R for
yeah,
raunchy, dumb, stupid fucking comedy and
yeah. Getting kicked in the balls, getting slapped in the face, all
boobies.
that. Yeah, boobs
Every
everywhere.
National Lampoon movie should
Yeah,
have boobies.
yeah. People falling off of ladders, falling into pools. The usual. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I would agree. Like this movie was sort of like I don't know. It felt like it was made for like teenagers who wanted to rent a raunchy comedy but didn't want to upset their sensitive family members or something, so they chose this movie. Like it felt like this was sort of made for those people looking for a gentle sex comedy
Yeah.
that isn't a sex comedy at all. Just
Yeah.
because it has sex
Not in
and
the
comedy
least.
doesn't make it a sex comedy. So,
Yeah, the most sexy stuff, sexual stuff was the stoner getting with Brooke Shields all a
yeah,
bunch. But they never
yeah,
showed it. They just said, "Oh, I got with her."
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Good
It's
for
like,
you. I didn't see
yeah,
shit.
yeah. She just walks away grinning. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like this movie very much. What about you,
No.
Zach? Did you like it?
No, not
Okay.
not at all.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I gave it a one.
Okay.
You know,
I
gave me
think
a,
I,
a
yeah.
little bit of nostalgia from our Shaw's days, but that's pretty much it.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh,
same here.
nice.
I same reason. I'd give it a one because worked in a grocery store myself for a couple of years with
Yeah.
you, Zach. Yeah. So
Well,
nostalgia gives it a one.
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's. I mean, I've done. I've never worked in a grocery store, but I have worked at a convenience store. So, but this is no Clerks. I would say, I mean, I thought Dennis Farina was all right. There were, I don't know, I didn't think it was that interesting generally. There were some funny moments, but I can't even remember really most of them. Like the black dude was funny because
His
everybody
arc was
was,
the funniest.
yeah. But I think I'm kind of with you guys. Like I'm like one, maybe 1.5 if I'm bored.
Being
But
generous.
yeah, if I'm being like super generous, I'll lean toward a 1.5, only because I've seen worse National Lampoon movies. But having said that, this isn't it. You know, this is what I want. This is what I want to see.
I was highly disappointed.
Yeah. um. So those are our thoughts on the Bag Boy. Um, not Bagman. That's another movie. Um, so now on to our second choice, which was the one that you chose, Zach.
Yep. Speaking of highly disappointing,
Oh,
um,
uh-oh.
I chose Endless Bummer or Surf Party, as we watched it as on Tubi.
Yeah. Although there's sort of another title that kind of got stamped right below it, the Summertime Unleashed or Unraveled or whatever.
Yeah,
Summer Unleashed.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't even know. Surf Party, Summer Unleashed. That sounds about right. So
Yep, Summer Unleashed.
yeah, Surf Party, Summer Unleashed, Endless Bummer. Anyway, what? All right, so you chose this one.
Yep, pretty much because Matthew Lillard was on the cover.
Yeah.
And surf movies are always, well, usually fun.
Yeah. I've liked a lot of the ones we've watched on this show.
I think I've chosen a majority of them too.
Yeah, Surf Ninjas, and
Surf
then
Nazis.
Surf Nazis, and I know there was another one that had surfing in it. I don't know. I don't think it was Samurai Cop. Was it Miami Connection? I don't even know, but whatever. Okay, cool. So you chose a surfing movie, and it has Matt. Yeah, we love Matthew Lillard on this show. Oh,
Yeah.
Lillard.
He was the best part of this movie too.
Yeah. And he didn't even do much.
He got a paycheck, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we should start. What were your overall impressions of it?
Um, it was a bummer.
An endless bummer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Not
They did say that the title in the
yeah,
the movie at one point, but
Yeah.
I guess the title is up in the air for like, did
Yeah.
they say the title or not? I don't know.
Yeah, and like the surf party doesn't make sense as a title either because there wasn't really
No,
a surf
yeah.
party.
No.
Yeah.
Not much. There's a little surfing, but not much.
Yeah. Basically no surfing, and also not really any partying either. There was like one scene of surfing and one scene of partying, and that's it. This movie shouldn't be called Surf Party. So
Yeah.
Endless Bummer is a much more accurate title. Like, yeah. So I guess from now on we'll just refer to it as Endless Bummer because that's what it is. When I call these three movies curiosities, what I mean about this movie when I say that is so the first movie we watched The Bag Boy, that was a comedy that didn't feel like a National Lampoon comedy. But this feels like a National Lampoon movie, but it doesn't feel like a comedy. Is it just me that feels that way? It felt like pretty not funny at all, actually.
Yeah. This feels like a cable TV version of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Even though nothing happens. Barely anything happens.
Yeah. Yeah, you can summarize the entire plot in like 3 sentences.
Pretty
Like,
much. Um,
yeah.
so we got our three main friends,
Hmm.
surfer dudes. You got a stoner,
Yep.
one mentally ill guy, I guess.
Yeah, Sparky. He was the only
Sparky.
character I found interesting. Like, you know, I mean,
I
yeah, go on.
I just like Ray Santiago's character because he's from Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, yeah. I
Just we
actually, oh, what was that?
it's just weird seeing him in something like this.
Yeah, I agree. Um, it was an odd collection of characters. Because they sort of didn't seem like they got along very well, but they, I don't know.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
real like chemistry between them.
yeah. It was like a mismatched group of people who it's almost like they're only friends because they're all in the same grade and they're all seniors and that's it. Like beyond that, it doesn't feel like there's much else,
Yeah,
like which I
especially
know like both of you and you like all three of us were in the same grade too and stuff and we all three of us graduated at the same time. But for these three specific people, it feels like they don't really have anybody else other than each other, so
yeah. Say I didn't. Why was that high school the graduation thing even in there?
yeah. So brief.
It's just so random.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have any project grad, I guess. They're just like, okay, you graduate. Now you get to go and drink and you're not our problem anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess the main character gets his new surfboard that Matthew Lillard made, and ends up losing it. And they go try to find it.
Yeah.
He loses it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I was like, don't like. I thought surfers have like the ankle strap to their boards
Yeah.
to not
Yeah,
do that, and also for safety, like so they can drag it in and not drown. And I don't know.
You're
I'm
right.
not a big surfer, but I see them having ankle straps. Like snowboards have those, so
Yeah.
the boards don't just fucking fly down the mountain if you get kicked out of the straps. Like
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it acts as a flotation device too,
yeah,
Mm.
so
because they
like
stay
why?
on top of the water.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was, I guess we can credit it to him being a dumb teenager, It actually kind of ends up being the main reason why all these characters make dumb decisions in this movie. Other than, I mean, the mentally ill character that there's more to that, but everybody else in this movie though, like most of what they do is just like waste time, So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, he loses his surfboard.
Yeah. And the Sparky character sees the guy with the board drive away. Doesn't show how he got it, but
Yeah,
all right.
because
We'll
all
go
we
with-
see is him like wiping out, and the board just flies into the ocean,
yeah,
and we don't see anyone around but Joan Jett.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah.
She's just like making sand castles and shit and spouting out 2QAN 574.
Was that
We
the
don't-
license plate number?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what it
that
ended up
was it.
being.
At first I thought like, is she like saying coordinates or something? But then like eventually it became, oh no, that's a license plate number. Very clear.
Yeah. But yeah, no, she was kind of an interesting character, but you don't really, you never really find out anything about her other than she just scavenges and that's about it. But she is sort of a important part at the end of the movie, like for the main character anyway. So,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that. Yeah.
Like she was like the local crazy.
Yeah, the local crazy that the main character, for whatever reason, always got along with, So, And he's just a typical surfer dude type of character.
I think most characters got along with her. She was
Yeah,
harmless, but
yeah,
just
yeah,
chilling out on the beach, making sand castles and decorations. Just
yeah,
chilling. She wasn't like violently crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. I want to become her in 20 years. I'm gonna be some crazy lady on the beach digging up license plates. Okay, so they got his license plate, and I forget how they find out whose license plate it was.
The
Actually.
the guy they steal beer for, his
That's
wife is like in the police department or something.
The DMV.
Yeah.
She works with the DMV. Yeah.
DMV. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And she criticizes them. It's like, don't get this cheap shit. Yeah.
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 Next
the-
time you steal beer, steal something better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Here. The Heisler, the movie beer.
Yeah. Yeah. But I did actually like the scene where Matthew Lillard makes the surfboard, like where he like puts it together. I don't know. I always like seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know
Like
if it was
the
actually him
intro,
doing it, but-
just like the title
Yeah.
credits intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. I could tell it wasn't his hands doing it.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
were thick hands. Like
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard's a little bit of a more scrawny, thinner dude, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it
But
was a
he-
nice artistic little shots of a surfboard being made. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he's kind of the dude that he's like the older guy that the main character like basically worships.
His
like
hero.
throughout his whole narration, he's like, "This man makes me feel like I can fly," and all this stuff. And it's like, I guess he really is a big fan of Matthew Lillard. Yeah.
He's a cool
Yeah.
dude in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
he's respectable family man with a job that does
Mhm.
cool shit, makes
Yeah.
surfboards, and is just
Yeah, yeah. I like him.
Yep. Yeah, so they find out where this guy lives, grabs their girlfriend, I guess, on off.
Oh yeah.
they
And
figure
then-
it out. They figure it out,
Yeah.
and Matthew Lillard joins them too.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
like he wants to just keep an eye on them or something. Like
he's
Yeah, I
he's
think
like
he's-
to be
their
a protector, guardian,
Yeah.
protector. Yeah.
His
Yeah,
wife makes him go. Like, you better keep an eye on them.
Yeah, while he's holding his newborn baby too, and he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, these guys are going out, and like you should check them out." And he's like- so he joins them in their journey of these teenagers with
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard as a like I don't know 20s, 30s dad, just like
Yeah.
a bunch of teens.
Yeah, he was the good role model type who
Kinda. Kinda, because he
kinda.
also keeps saying, like, every time they say, "What next?" He's the one that always says, "We need more beer."
yeah
Yeah.
yeah he is constantly drinking throughout, getting
Yeah.
more and more drunk. Yeah. All the characters basically just get wasted throughout the course of the movie. So
And it took place in the 80s, so I think 18 was the drinking age then. So
yeah, exactly.
not breaking laws besides stealing the beer, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, which they do.
And
a
drunk
couple
driving. There was definitely a lot of drunk driving.
times.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this movie is definitely kind of like a snapshot of the 80s. I mean, it doesn't really lean into the 80s atmosphere all that much. There are a few bits here and there with like references and that are kind of cute, but they keep the 80s vibe to a minimum, I felt.
I got some Tony Hawk Pro Skater vibes from it. The
I did too.
Ventura. There was that one song that I honestly, when I listened to it on the game, I thought it was Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
But when I listened to it here, it was not Tony Hawk. I don't know what the song is at all.
Yeah. It had a decent soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the music. Yeah.
There's a few Joan Jett songs, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is also produced by Kevin Lyman, who owns Warped Tour. which I noticed.
Oh,
I noticed
yeah.
in the opening credits was like
Oh yeah, Vans Warped Tour was in that. Yeah.
presented by Warped Tour. Like,
that makes
why?
sense.
I
I guess
guess
they
just for the soundtrack.
maybe
There
they
was
maybe
some
they
skateboarding.
yeah they saw something in this script that spoke to them. And they just decided this is, if we want to get into the movie producing business, these are the type of movies that we want to have represent us. So
Yeah.
what can I say? um
Yeah.
yeah, so it doesn't actually end up being a problem at all to get the skate, or not the skate, the surfboard back.
Yeah. Yeah. When Matthew Lillard joined them, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, cool, it's gonna be a road trip movie now.
Yeah, I
No.
was like, oh, is this going to be Detroit Rock City type stuff? But yeah, no.
Yeah, I think they have one stop before their end. It's a gas station to steal more beer,
Yeah,
which they do like 2 or 3 times. Just like
yeah,
waving their arms around.
Like, hey, look at me! Oh, my hair! Oh, this big wave! Oh, shit!
yeah, yeah. The main character. Wait, what's the main character's name again? Simon, Gus, something like that. I don't even remember.
You're way off, man.
What was it?
JD.
J.D. Johnny.
His mom called him Johnny, but his friends called him JD. Which, by the way, I noticed, and something I wanted to bring up is the subtitles called him DJ. I kind of want a job making subtitles for these movies. Like,
Yeah,
how do I make subtitles for these shitty ass movies? I wouldn't mind doing
yeah,
that.
yeah. Maybe correct some of them. Yeah,
Like
no, I agree.
every single time they said JD when they called him out, it said DJ in the subtitles. Like, is this AI? Is this like how is this screwing? Like I would assume AI would get JD right.
Yeah. Well, there was some Turkish prison movie that I saw on YouTube one time, and it the subtitles. What was weird was that it was in English, like it was dubbed into English, but I had the English subtitles on at the bottom, and it was like they were so hilariously off that it was like distracting,
Right?
and I had to turn them off because it was like it made the movie more confusing. It's like, wait a minute, like this is not at all what the characters are saying. It like was completely different stuff.
Like I have to imagine like I would actually be interested in doing that job of subtitling just any random stupid ass movie.
Yeah,
How does one get into that job? Is it
I don't
all
know.
AI now? Is it like, can I apply to do this in my off time? Watch
Yeah.
dumbass movies and just subtitle them for them? I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind. This
Yeah,
seems
I
like
don't
a
mind that at
fun,
all.
Yeah,
a fun side gig.
yeah. I kind of want to get into audiobooks at some point, reading audiobooks, but
Yeah,
not.
I wouldn't mind that either. Yeah.
Yeah, I might do that at some point. But yeah, so what's his name? Johnny D, JD, he doesn't have much problem finding his surfboard. They go to so yeah, they go steal beer at the gas station. JD chats up the person at the register, and then they go to James Remar's house.
Yeah.
By the way, I just wanted to point out the gas prices in this movie.
Oh yeah.
99 cents or no,
89.
89 cents, 99 cents, $1.09. Where are we now? What?
Yeah, for real. Where are those prices?
What the fuck? Like, I don't think really the supply of gas has diminished.
Yeah.
Like, we're still pumping that shit out the ground, destroying our planet.
Yeah.
We have fucking warehouses and more probably than we did back then. But the prices went up. Not to get political, but like, hey, what the fuck? I honestly even remember back in the day them being like $1 when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah, when I got my first car, $1.50.
like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Not to get political, but what the fuck?
It is something that's kind of worth thinking about. And actually, this movie actually does sort of get a little bit political at this point, because when they go into the guy's house, they see a big Ronald Reagan picture on his
Yeah.
wall, and so that's kind of intimidating because like
Because
you're
he's
a
a
teenager-
conservative guy for sure. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
and
thought some shit was gonna go down.
right.
yeah.
Guns
It's like,
on the wall.
yeah, it's like in the modern age, if you're a teen, like if you're a young kid in some small town somewhere, and you go into somebody's house and they have a big Trump portrait, it's the same kind of thing,
Yeah.
except it's 80s, so it's Ronald Reagan. And yeah, I mean, so at first you think this might end up being like a tense situation, but it actually doesn't end up being a tense situation at all. The
No,
guy,
he's just
cool
like,
about it.
yeah,
just like, here it
yeah.
is.
yeah, he's super reasonable. He's like, I'm sorry, my kid made a very poor decision. You
Dexter's dad.
Yeah.
know? Yes, Dexter's direct dad.
That's where I know him from. By the way, they're doing a prequel with
That's what I
Sarah
heard.
Michelle Gellar, Buffy.
Hmm.
Uh, uh,
It-
I
it could be
don't.
good.
I hope so because I love
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, but
Yeah.
Dexter ended poorly. The spinoff I didn't watch. Like,
I
Yeah.
didn't either.
heard it was bad,
Yeah.
but I have so much faith in Sarah Michelle. I mean, not faith, but like, I want the best for Sarah Michelle Gellar. Buffy,
Same.
come on, Buffy.
Indeed. Yeah.
I just want her to do the best she can do ever in anything she does.
Yeah, I want her to
So-
have a career comeback. I want her to be in a female serial killer movie. She should do one of those. You know, she goes from being the vampire slayer to the female serial killer. Like
She had
something-
that, I guess that sitcom with Robin Williams did well, but
Yeah,
unfortunately he passed.
yeah, it's true. That was a very difficult year for a lot of people. But okay, so what I know that they get the surfboard back pretty much immediately, but then the movie just goes on. Like even though the
Yeah.
plot's pretty much wrapped up,
They want to
like,
get revenge.
yeah,
And then the girl's like, "Oh, I used to date this guy. He works over here."
The
Yeah.
artsy friend. Yeah.
yeah. So now we're gonna get some plot twists coming. So brace yourself, folks.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decide they
Like-
want to settle it man to man. So
But they go to this place.
mhm.
They try to walk in, but the guy locks the door, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And just a big fuck you back and forth kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
his work.
he's-
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like putting his fingers out, all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. So they go back to his house, wait it out, go steal some more beer.
Mhm. And then run out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they split up, like the two girls and the
What was
what's his name?
Lardo.
Lardo.
Yeah. Lardo,
There's a
who,
little bit of confrontation because there's these creeps that try and
yeah,
sexually advance on the girls,
yeah,
but he
There's a-
beats the shit out of them and kind of
Yeah.
wins over the artsy girl. Iris is her name.
yeah. The two hillbillies that almost try to take advantage or whatever, and then get stopped by Lardo, who's played by that kid from Meet the Fockers, the one who Ben Stiller thinks is his son or whatever. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. And then the kid Sparky was that kid in the Lost World Jurassic Park who like looked out the window and saw the T-Rex eating his dog or whatever. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but
I think so, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, National Lampoon, for whatever reason, they like to grab these random actors out of nowhere and just throw them
Anyone
in
who needs a
movies.
paycheck.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you want a paycheck, go talk to National Lampoon. They'll put you in one of their sex comedies, or they'll put you in a movie with sex or comedy, but maybe not both.
There was the red bikini girl.
There was, yeah,
Automatic
was.
1 star so far.
yep. Let's see if we can beef it up a couple more. You never know. So let's see. So the whole thing with the hillbillies, are they hillbillies? I don't even know what to call them.
They
They
kind
just,
of like just bikers, just
yeah,
miscreants.
Creeps.
yeah, just basically, yeah, two dudes who rape people, and let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, and so then at the house they're still waiting, getting more and more drunk, and Matthew Lillard gives probably like the only part of the movie that's funny was the speech that he gives where he like compares like driving to sex or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that analogy of driving. And he's like, what are you talking about? How does this relate? I think Sparky says that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a whole monologue, basically. His longest lines.
Yeah, he literally says like almost nothing throughout the course of the movie. He says maybe like 10 lines total up to that.
More beer.
Yeah, more beer, and then that car analogy of how to get girls.
Yeah. That's
and then Sparky's like, what are you talking about? Huh?
Yeah, because Sparky, he's just getting drunker and drunker and just doing more and more trash talking throughout the night, and this constantly just talking about how much he wants to kill this kid who stole the surfboard and all this stuff. I kind of got the sense that he was like trying to like impress the main character or something like that, and it was like one of those weird sort of awkward things where
we get the backstory on him that his mom wasn't great, or left him, and that his grandma is the one that took him over and and he calls her his mom, so there's some type of emotional connection with that.
He has a broken home situation, and I kind of feel like this movie's mostly about him because he's the only character who gets like any tremendous amount of like development, and he's also the character who kind of ends up sort of being like the one sort of consequential thing that happens, which is the eventual quasi fight scene. Yeah. So I guess you can talk about this part. I don't know. It's
what we're on now.
They all join back up. The kid comes home. James Remar's like, come on out.
Dexter's dad.
Yeah.
Like, basically it was like, you get 3 swings on my son because he's an asshole.
One of you, he said, because there's syntax that gets very taken literally. One of you gets 3 swings on my son.
So Sparky drunkenly from behind everyone just fails. All right.
Yeah, basically twice.
Takes a miss swing and he's like, wait, and then like the douchebag guy says, oh, he took the swing, so he has to take all 3.
Yep. Misses again, falls over. Wasn't he like asleep at that point too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he fell asleep while he was fighting, and then eventually he kind of
comes to again.
Yeah,
clocks him.
Yeah,
gives a nice uppercut for the last hit. It was a good. He got at least one great hit in.
Yeah.
So that was very satisfying. So.
Yeah, and that pretty much ends that. They shake hands.
And then here comes the dumbest part of the movie. Like, everybody goes home. The girlfriend's like, sorry about my ex-boyfriend. He's crazy. He even admits that that's the reason he stole the surfboard, is to get back at her. It's like, so far-fetched, but I get it.
Like, how did that was like, how did he know that the main character was even like, he was just tangentially friends with that girl. How did stalker? Like, what the fuck? Like, how did he know?
He stalked them.
Just like a creepy fucking stalker dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just tangentially related. Like, his girlfriend was her friend. It doesn't seem like they connected all that much.
No.
Just that his girlfriend was her friend, and okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
yeah. That's about it, really. It wasn't even a relationship. So I don't know. I don't understand it, but just dumb teenagers being dumb teenagers. That's mostly what this movie was just dumb teenagers being dumb teenagers. So
And then it ends with a "Where are they now?"
Yeah. Oh, but before the "Where are they now?" there is something that happens to the surfboard
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Just gets run over.
by somebody who
Stupid.
very clearly looked like they were doing it on purpose. Like,
Yeah. And they like dropped it. They could have taken it with them.
yeah.
I didn't understand because like when they first when they first got it, they put it in fully, closed the door. It wasn't hanging out.
Yeah.
And when they were driving around the next day or whatever with it, it was hanging out the back. I was like, is this gonna fall out? Is this gonna fall out?
Yeah.
It
And then it did.
does. And
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
And it's this couple that in the beginning where JD goes to pick up the surfboard, it's just this yuppie tourist couple that's trying to get property. It's that same
Yeah.
couple. They run it over. Like the surfboard falls out and this yuppie couple from the very first 5 minutes of the movie are driving around in their convertible and they run it over.
And yeah.
And the
And then
message of the story is it's not the end, it's the journey.
not the end of the world. Yeah, it's the journey. Yeah, this is
About
when
the
it turns into the
journey.
Wonder Years. This is
It's
when the
like,
movie turns
fuck
into the Wonder
you.
Years. Yeah.
Why did we watch this movie? What's the point of this movie if you're just gonna end it like that?
I loved it. It's like he gets his surfboard run over, and then it's like, it was at that moment that I realized sometimes life doesn't work out the way you expect. And it's like, oh, that was
And the
the funniest thing in the
voiceover,
world.
yeah, and the voiceover, like there's a voiceover in the beginning and at the end, and it's
Yeah.
adult. I mean, subtitles
Yeah.
adult DJ, but it's adult JD.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different voice actor, but like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But
and yes, they
tried
do
it.
a "Where are they now?"
Yeah.
at the end too,
Yeah. They did.
which is fucked up for one of them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so like, Lardo, that's his name, right?
Yeah. Lardo.
He grows up, has a kid, nice family.
Yeah.
Iris lives in New York doing her thing,
Yeah.
and the main character, the love interest, moves on, has
Yeah.
kids. The
Yeah.
main
Yeah.
character, JD, grows up, has like 4 kids, still lives in Ventura and doing surfing. But
Yeah.
Sparky,
This is sad.
this is, I guess he only lived to 25,
Yeah.
is what the implication is.
Yeah. That's what he says in the narration.
He's like, and I miss him. He did his thing, and he was 25, and
Yeah.
God, I miss him.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't necessarily explicitly state, but they kind of explicitly state that he fucking died at age 25
Yeah.
doing his crazy shit. I'm like, that's a
Yeah.
dark thing to do, throw right at the end of this.
National Lampoon comedy.
Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had that little tiff earlier too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you always act so tough, but you don't do anything.
Yeah. Like JD and him getting a fight. And like they eventually kind of like say, I'm sorry, I did it. I was, whatever, but
Yeah.
Damage is done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was pretty dark. I don't know. In a way, it was also kind of like, all right, I guess you could see how a character like that would go in that direction, like, I mean, at least for me at that point. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I understand. It is kind
Did
of
they
like
need to kill him? They could have just made him a loser that didn't go anywhere. A drug
Maybe,
addict,
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it feels weird to do in a movie like this. I do agree.
Yeah, just make him a loser, go nowhere druggy that
Yeah, something like that.
didn't move on. But
Yeah.
they straight up fucking killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, that is pretty dark, yeah, and it does kind of make you wonder about like where he went. So, or at least it made me wonder. But um, I don't know. Was there anything else? I think that.
There's like these random scenes with like Afion Crockett. I don't know if you know who that is, but the two stoner guys just
Yeah,
random
yeah,
throughout the whole thing.
yeah. I guess they got involved in this project. So.
Yeah, Afion Crockett was a producer, so I guess he just inserted himself in there.
Okay.
No, I remember him. Is he the bigger guy that was like, I need a bong, man. Where's the
It was
bong?
the black guy with him, Afion Crockett.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember those boys.
just
Okay.
randomly because they never meet up with him ever.
And then they
Yeah.
just kind of inserted and it was
Yeah. Pretty much. All right. Well, I don't know. What were your overall thoughts on it?
eh,
Kind of boring. Not much happened.
not that funny.
Yeah.
I expect National Lampoon to be funny.
Yeah,
It definitely was lacking in the joke department.
I'm
even if
sure.
it's
No, go ahead.
even if it's stupid, raunchy, dumb fucking comedy. I
Yeah.
expect it to be at least have jokes, and this didn't have many.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels mismarketed to me. It doesn't feel like the National Lampoon label. It really does it any favors. Like I feel like the people who would be into this movie wouldn't be watching National Lampoon. Like they wouldn't be looking for this type of movie if they wanted to watch a National Lampoon movie. Is the way I feel. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So
I gave it
yeah.
a 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Higher because boobs give it an
Yeah.
automatic 1. There were boobs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then Matthew Lillard.
Okay.
I just love him.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy seeing him in movies like this. So
So 1.5.
yeah.
Matthew Lillard gets a half star for me. Like,
Okay.
just because he's awesome. Love him. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He was the
I
best
think,
part of the movie, so I have to give him a half star at least. 1.5 for Matthew Lillard, or
yeah.
a half star for Matthew Lillard, 1.5 for the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a different Matthew Lillard than I'm used to seeing. It was a very
Yeah.
stoic Matthew Lillard. I'm used to seeing
Yeah.
him more high energy, and he had to like it was like he was quelling his energy because he was around a bunch of teenagers, or something like that. That's what it felt like. But
I think that's the point of his character, kind of like he was
probably,
keeping an eye on him.
yeah. Well, this might amaze you, but actually, I'd have to say out of the 3 movies on this show, this is the one I thought that was the most interesting, and this is the one I like the most. So I'm gonna give it 3. I'm gonna give it 3. 1 because yes, I thought Matthew Lillard, his stoicism and the character and stuff actually did add a pretty decent feel to the film. I actually enjoyed watching the main character surfing in the one scene that he surfed in. And so I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the fact that he was a surfer, and I like the anticipation of like, ooh, am I get to see him surf again? But then he didn't end up surfing again, so it was like, oh well. But I still enjoyed kind of wondering,
Surf party, endless bummer.
Exactly. It's like, come on, it's like
it has to be like
yeah.
endless bummer must have been the title.
Yeah.
They just came up with there must have been some type of copyright dispute or something. I didn't look into it, but like surf party, really?
Yeah. Well, I agree. The title is definitely they should have. I think endless bummer. Simple enough title.
The title that should have been the title. Yes, endless bummer.
Without the National Lampoon, just call it an endless bummer and leave it at that, because that's really what it is.
Yes.
But the 3rd star, I would have to say, is
damn.
I actually, I'm gonna give it 3 stars, and because I actually, no, listen, I actually did feel invested in the Sparky character quite a bit, like because
That's
I
fair.
do like the idea of a movie like this, like a movie about a group of teenagers acting like idiots, not really knowing what they're doing, maybe being kind of aimless, and having that one crazy friend who's with them who just is constantly pushing things further and further and further. I felt like there were parts in this movie where it was kind of approaching that idea and that feeling, and
Through no
I just
fault of his own, too. Like
Yeah.
he was in a broken household with,
yeah
you know, some shit that went down. It's fair enough.
yeah
Like, yeah, but
yeah like I found myself feeling for him, and I wanted to, I don't know, like I wasn't making me laugh at all. It was a
no,
bummer. It was a serious bummer, but
an endless
um
bummer.
yeah, an endless bummer. You got stealing beer, getting drunk, almost getting raped, getting beat up, all that stuff, broken surfboards. It's just not a fun night. But I can get into movies pretty easily, when they're about teenagers just going out and doing dumb stuff for whatever reason. I don't know, those kinds of experiences, these types of movies, learning hard lessons and stuff. Like this is definitely not the best of its kind by any means. I've seen much better than this, but as a movie that's kind of trying to follow in the spirit of something like Stand by Me or something like that, like it had a few little things that I enjoyed that to offer that I enjoyed. So I don't know. So I'll give it a 3 because yeah, I
Damn.
didn't mind it. I really didn't.
Man.
Yeah, and yeah, it was slow, but it
It was
felt like it was over
fine, I
pretty quick.
guess. It might be it was fine. It might be a little
Yeah,
harsh on it, but like
yeah,
I'm viewing it in the context of a National Lampoon movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was
That's
expecting a little more.
I think that's the problem. It was mismarketed, and also, admittedly, I was intimidated because usually movies with multiple alternate titles and stuff tend to be pretty shit. So, but this one for me, it hit a spot. It hit the right spot for me. What can I
Yeah,
say?
and I would have given it maybe more if it wasn't marketed as a National Lampoon movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Maybe, yeah, maybe give it another try in 7 years. It might click
yeah,
more. It's
just
always
forget
possible.
to erase National Lampoon out of my mind. It's
Just look
not
Yeah.
at the
it's,
surf party cover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just look at the surf party. Okay. Yeah, I think that covers that one. So
Yeah.
so now I guess we're getting into the movie that has like the real meat and potatoes because it has both the sex and the comedy. The only thing it's missing is the National Lampoon label. Vacation from 2015, the remake, not the original. So
I wouldn't consider it a remake.
oh yeah, no, it's not a well, okay. I guess it's a legacy sequel, right? Is that what they're called these days?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is the legacy sequel to the National Lampoon's Vacation, starring Chevy Chase and a whole slew of the crew, like the various folks that you kind of saw in a few 80s movies back then. But so have either of you seen the original Vacation?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it. So for me, I saw it a long time ago when I was a kid,
Yeah.
way younger than I was probably supposed to be able to see it.
Yeah.
I remember like the hot tub scene with boobies,
Yeah.
but I also, what made me never want to watch it again was the dog scene.
Oh, yeah. That was messed up.
I did not understand, like, even with that, like the hot tub scene, I was like I was young and I still remember, and I didn't understand adultery.
Yeah.
infidelity. I was like, but he's married. Why is he doing this? I'm a
Yeah.
kid. I don't understand.
Yeah. Of course.
And then the dog scene where he tied the, I was just like, huh? What?
Okay.
Dog?
Oh yeah.
Why dog die? And
Yeah.
like, I just couldn't go back to watching it as an
As an
adult.
adult. Yeah.
I was just like, I don't see how that's funny. Like,
Yeah.
I literally I watched it a couple of days ago, that just the dog scene of, not like the whole, like the police
Yeah.
pulling him over. I didn't see how it was funny. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't I was just like,
I could definitely see
what the
why somebody wouldn't enjoy that.
why would they put the, how would anyone think this is a good thing to put in a movie? This is, there wasn't really anything funny about it. There was just a dog that got dragged miles down the street and died.
Yeah.
And the cop was like saying, "Oh, you're bad. I'm gonna go back and shovel the body off the ground.
Yeah.
But I'll let you off because it was a mistake."
Yeah.
But I
So
remember
they
that,
get away with it. Yeah.
like, that's honestly one of the most vivid memories of a movie I've seen as a child. I was like, huh, huh.
Yeah.
I can't go back to watching that
Yeah.
movie as an
Yeah.
adult because of that dog scene. I'm just like, no, I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah. The way you talk about it, that's how I feel about Milo Notice. I can never watch that movie again. Yeah. It's just like the cat going off the waterfall and just all that stuff. I just can't sit there. Like I hated that movie as a kid, and I never want to watch anything like that ever again. But what can I say? So I take it you're not a fan of the original Vacation, kind of for the dog stuff specifically. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
okay,
I don't remember much about it.
yeah, okay, all
Maybe
right,
if they cut that scene out and I
yeah,
watched a movie without that scene, maybe I'll
yeah,
like it. But like, if there's
yeah.
if there's a version out there you can
Like just
send me
yeah,
without that scene, I'll check it out. But like,
yeah,
that scene was like I remember that's one of the most vivid scenes of a
okay,
movie as a kid that I watched.
yeah,
And I was like, what the fuck am I
well,
watching? And
yeah, no,
I was well under the rated R, age to
age,
watch
yeah,
it. We just got it on VHS from a block, not like a block, but a movie rental place, because it was a comedy with Chevy Chase.
yeah.
And I was just like confused. It's like, this is funny.
Well, I can definitely understand why somebody wouldn't find that funny. Like there's definitely I've definitely experienced that with comedies in my own life. Like I don't find Meet the Parents to be very funny at
I love
all,
Meet the
really.
Parents.
Yeah, I find that movie torturous because it's just like this guy getting picked on basically the whole movie, and
I
every
love
time he
Meet the
tries to,
Parents.
yeah, hey, and that's totally awesome. Like I like that people find it funny. I just wish that I didn't have like a lot of empathy for the main character. And like there's so many scenes in that movie that feel like torture. There's even a part where he's given like a polygraph test. Like and I don't know, like to me it's like that's like a nightmare scenario. I hate tests in general, and of course a polygraph test, that's I don't know. I guess that wouldn't be that big a deal, but still, like, I would hate to experience something like that if I were dating. Well, in my case, it would be a guy, and I met their parents, and then their dad gave me a polygraph test. That would make me not want anything to do with any of them in like at all. Just I put myself in the character's head. And in any case, okay, so I guess so. You didn't like the original Vacation. Would you say you liked this movie more or less than the original?
I found this, I laughed,
Okay.
found this funny. I
Okay.
can't say it was great, I honestly can't remember much more than those scenes of
Yeah.
because I was a kid when I watched it.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
way too young to watch it.
Okay. Okay.
So I definitely didn't necessarily pick up like I don't remember much of it
Yeah. Yeah.
besides those scenes that may have traumatized me.
Okay.
But I did enjoy this for just being a stupid comedy.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent. And then what about you, Zach? You've seen the original, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And what were your thoughts on the original?
I enjoy it. It's classic.
Yes. Okay. Cool. And what did you just think the dog scene was hilarious?
Okay, I thought it was funny when I first saw it, but
Yeah.
now that you describe it that way, I don't think I'm gonna watch it the same.
I don't understand why they put that into the movie. It is disturbing. Like,
Yeah.
where's the joke? They
Yeah.
dragged a dog for miles and killed it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. I
I
guess
don't understand what the
it's
joke is in it.
it's funny because you don't see it. If you did see it, it wouldn't be a comedy. Like if you actually saw the dog getting dragged across the road, like with your own eyes, there's no way they would be able to make that funny. Probably, unless it were like a really bad stuffed dog
But I
animal.
did watch. I watched it because like I'm a little confused on the vacation
Yeah.
movies. So it was like, is
Yeah.
this the one I watched with the
Yeah.
dog?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I watched the dog scene,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the cop that pulled them over kind of describes it graphically,
Yeah.
and it was like they didn't necessarily have to show it, but the
Yeah.
cop that pulled him over did describe him. Oh, he probably ran with you for a little while, but he
Yeah.
gave up, and now I have to go scrape him off the side of the road a mile back. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
where's the joke? Why
Yeah.
is this funny? How is this?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I mean, you see my reaction to the scene as a kid and now, because I rewatched the original before I watched this remake, just because I like to do that. My reaction to the scene as a kid and now is pretty much the same, which is okay, Chevy Chase doing another stupid thing. How is he going to get himself out of this one now? I don't really think it's like funny that the dog died. I find more just the fact that the character is just so incompetent that he can literally kill an animal and not realize it. I That's kind of where I find more of the humor, I guess. Oh, like it's more humor that comes out in spite of the character rather than because of the character, I guess, is my overall attitude.
but the thing is, like,
again,
no one else cared either, besides the grandmother. Like everyone was like nonchalant about killing a dog, and I was
and actually that's kind of getting to kind of the theme of this movie too, which is that this family in general is just completely dysfunctional and out of touch with the modern
I don't think
modern person.
Seen that scene since owning a dog, so probably not going to be the same.
Yeah. Well, okay, but so overall, though, aside from the dog stuff, you do enjoy the original.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what was your reaction to this movie? Like, what were your initial thoughts?
I don't know. I don't like the new style of humor in it that much. I did laugh a little bit, but
yeah. All right. So cool. So your opinion, Nick, is you prefer the remake. And your opinion, Nick, or Zach, is that the original probably it kind of hits the funny bone more for you.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So differing opinions here. My opinion is both these movies are silly but exasperating. Like, I think I just get tired of seeing the character, like the comedies about the characters that just do nothing but make mistakes and don't really learn from it. Like. I mean, this character sort of almost learns from it, but not really. But it is a legacy sequel, so we're following kind of the son in the first film, the Rusty character, what Michael Hall Philip Ball, what's his Michael Hall's character in the original, Rusty, I think his name is. So now he's a father with a wife and his own and two kids as well. Although in this one it's different from the original. In the original it's a brother and sister.
No, I have a
This one
question before
Oh yeah.
we get started. Is this actually National Lampoon?
Well, no, it's not actually. That I thought it was because it was on a list of National Lampoon movies. But then when I watched it, I realized that like they don't mention National Lampoon in the
I
credits
didn't
and stuff.
like. That's what I noticed. Is like this didn't have
so
the title or credits for National, even though it is a it is I would say a sequel. Like
Yeah,
a
it is.
sequel to.
It's on the wiki list.
Okay.
Okay,
well,
I mean, I don't like
yeah, I don't know.
production studio wise. I don't know how if it would. I guess it should probably count, but like I didn't
I'll
see
call.
any like maybe I missed it. I didn't see like the intro
Yeah.
credits saying National Lampoon Vacation 2015.
I'm not sure. I guess let's just pretend that it's a National Lampoon movie for the sake of this episode.
Because it has direct
Yeah.
connections.
Exactly.
To it.
It takes place in the National Lampoon universe.
Yeah.
So it's as much related to the original.
Poonverse.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's perfect.
We gotta call it that from now on.
The National Lampooniverse. That's perfect. Yeah. That's the episode title. Yeah. All right, cool. So in this movie they don't have a brother and sister. Instead he has two boys. And you know how brothers are. So in this movie they do kind of have a running gag about how the two brothers, one is extremely aggressive toward the other. Typically, it's usually both being aggressive, but in this it's one being super aggressive to the other. Yeah, what was that?
Me?
Yeah, you were about to say something.
I was gonna say I loved a little brother.
Yeah, he was kind of the show stealer. Yeah,
he was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, he was pretty funny. What was his name? Charlie? No, not Charlie. I don't even remember the kid's name. Evan. Okay.
And I also like the actor of the older one.
Yeah.
Like I loved Santa Clarita Diet. He's in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So good. And he is like this. He stole the show. Like I hope he goes on to make bigger and better things. Like the older guy, the actor Skylar Gizondo. I think he's just fucking hilarious. Like he was in that one. He was also in that one. With Jennifer Aniston. It was also a road trip movie.
Oh, was it?
Shit, what was the name of it? Fuck, let me see.
Jennifer Aniston. Okay. That's okay.
I think We're the Millers.
Yes. Is that no? That's Will Poulter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck. I get them confused.
Yeah, that's okay.
But he was in Santa Clarita Diet, and he was amazing in that.
Okay.
So fucking good. I want him to be in much more.
Yeah. Now you're talking about the kid who played the older brother?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes. He's amazing.
Wait. Okay. That's Skylar Gizondo.
Yep.
Gizondo. He was in the Licorice Pizza movie. Okay.
Oh, he wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Rob Zombie's Halloween too.
Yeah, yeah.
I like him. I want him to be in a lot more stuff. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. I do enjoy seeing different kind of. I mean, this movie has a really good cast overall. Actually, I'm not sure what. I think the little brother. I think what was he in that Donnie's Bar Mitzvah movie? But yeah. But I thought Christina Applegate. It was kind of funny to see her in a movie again. She plays the main character's wife. And at first you kind of think she's like the mom in the original, who's kind of uptight and by the numbers and kind of more old fashioned. But come to find out, she isn't quite as old fashioned as one would think, you know. And then you got Ed Helms, who plays our hero. You know, kind of. I'm assuming this was not too long after the Hangover movies, so. And he plays pretty much the same kind of character as Chevy Chase in the original. Just means well, and is very just not good judgment. You know, he's competent but not good judgment, and ends up tending to make situations worse and worse. Not in the same way that Ernest P. Worrell does, but you know, in a more awkward, almost so psychopathic way. If you didn't know better and knew that he was just oblivious as hell, you know.
I find it funny that he was a pilot. In like the first scene, the first scene basically, it was like, okay, we're just taking an 18-minute flight from like one Illinois, like they live in Chicago, so Chicago, Illinois. It's like one Illinois airport to another for 18 minutes.
Yep.
Like,
I've been to that airport, yeah.
And then like there's turbulence, and he like National Lampoon. This is where it comes in. He was like,
yep.
There's turbulence. He grabs on the mom's boobs. His face goes into the kid's crotch, and he's like, oh,
yeah.
Totally.
It's like awkward.
This is what I expect from a National Lampoon movie. If I don't, again, I don't know if this is actually a National Lampoon movie, but like,
it's the most National Lampoon of the three movies. So
absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right, because the person who's in the pilot, who's elderly, he gets into turbulence because he ends up going 1,600 feet up into the air, or however.
Yeah, way higher. And and that guy, he's old. He keeps saying, "Oh, thank you for bailing me out for that." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, he can't even remember what he's talking about. Yeah,
and he says it like 3 times over.
Yeah. So Ed Helms, he's competent enough to be a pilot, but not competent enough to figure out how to just act like a normal person. You know, so, and he feels like he's kind of losing touch with his family a little bit, because you know, he kind of basically catches wind of his wife being sort of not super happy with having to go to the cabin or whatever, his family cabin, for the vacation time, since school's out and all that stuff. So, and you know, his kids, they don't really get along with each other, so he's having issues with them as well. Like, was it the older brother? What, I forget what he says.
Kind of, it's funny. Like, one of their main confrontations was like in the beginning.
His guitar.
The guitar was like, I have a vagina.
Yeah.
And like Ed Helms was like trying to sympathize with, it's okay if you have a vagina.
Yeah. It's like, not even the point.
I don't have a vagina. Like, I don't have
now, son, you can still be my son and have a vagina. Did you know that? And he's like, I don't have a vagina. Yeah. It's like he's totally just misunderstanding. And then he tries to make it better by trying to fix the guitar situation, but then you see, no, he just crosses out the word vagina and writes penis instead. It's like, oh no, that doesn't really help either.
It's funny.
Yeah. It's pretty silly, you know, like, and that's mostly what he does throughout the movie. It's just that kind of thing. It just gets himself into hotter and hotter water, you know. And of course he decides it'd be a great idea to, you know, recreate the family vacation that his father went on, which was to Wally World. And I think he even has a line where he's like, this will be different from the original. This will stand on this vacation will stand on its own.
It's a meta thing. Yeah, I wrote it down like, it's a meta vacation talk. No, the original was with a girl and a boy. This is 2 boys. It'll stand on its own. And then like the kid, what's his name, is like, I haven't even heard of the original. Kevin, I haven't even heard of the original vacation. And he's like, that's okay. This will stand on its own.
Yeah.
It's a totally meta fucking joke.
Exactly. Yeah. Which actually, one of the, I guess if there is any major flaw with this movie, it's that it's a lot, it's too much like the original, I would say, because they kind of end up having the same problems for the most part. Like in the original, there's a trip to the Grand Canyon that goes wrong in a different way, involving a tour, somebody who's like the person who's supposed to be giving the tour. In this version, it goes wrong in a pretty dark way, actually, but we'll get to that. So they go on their trip, and of course, just like in the original, the dad gets a souped up new mobile, which isn't actually that great. It's like what is it, Finnish,
Hungarian
automobile that it's supposed to be like the latest in Hungarian technology, but it has all these buttons that they don't know what the fuck any of them do, and like they'll push like a button and a part of the car will fall off, and like
there's like
and
that. They have, and I thought there was
yeah.
2 gas tanks.
Yeah.
I was like, why do we have 2 gas tanks? Why don't you just
Yeah.
makes the same as the 2 together. I was like,
they keep having to
because it's
refill
2.
it. Yeah, and apparently it's an e-vehicle, although they can't figure out the plug because it looks like a corkscrew. Like,
Yeah, there's just like random things popping out of it. And I was like,
yeah,
and
so
they can't suck it back in, so he just kind of coils it and shoves it in the fucking.
yeah. It's just a car. They just can't figure it out. How to make it work properly, and it does run fine, but it can't go very fast, which ends up being a problem, later on when they start to have to deal with that truck driver dude, but until then, I mean, same kind of stuff that in this movie that happened in the original. There's like this love interest on the road type of thing, like in the original, except in this one it's like a teenage girl. Well, no, okay, I'm wrong, because there is something that kind of happens at one point where Ed Helms is like catches his eye on another driver.
Oh, that's way late though.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was
funny though.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious, but
that was pretty funny. Yeah. But the teenage kid, he sees this other hot teenage girl on the road and starts trying, they have the romantic thing going on, but then the brother throws the bag over his head, and so the girl's like,
this is one of those,
that's not good,
so like no spoiler, I do think this was the best movie of the 3. I laughed the most at this.
Yeah.
And one of this scene was one of the funniest parts of the movie. It was like he was waving and saying hi, and then his little brother just starts fucking putting a bag over his head and like saying, like, go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, throughout the movie, he's constantly trying to kill his brother. Like, at one point,
I laughed so hard at that. I was like, "Oh, just go to sleep," and he was like trying to kill him with a plastic bag.
Yeah, no, like that. The brother had all the best parts. He was the show stealer, and like, there's even a part later on in the movie where they're having dinner with some extended family, and they're talking about going horse riding or something like that, and he's like, "Oh, can I play with your rifle?" And the dad or whoever's like, "No, you can't." He's like, "Too bad. I was gonna shoot you off. I was gonna shoot you off the horse or whatever." Like,
I have to say that the younger brother was a child actors get shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was incredible. Like like his performance of being just like like he delivered comedic lines for a child actor that I was surprised at. Like, Jesus, he was hilarious, that child actor.
Yeah, he was funny, and that's also not the type of character that most child actors would be able to play very well. I feel like the annoying brother who wants to kill the older brother. Like, I can imagine a lot of child actors like kind of being more annoying than anything else, but this one I thought,
and raunchy too. Like, he was like fucking swearing and dropping the F-bombs, saying like, you have a vagina. He was just like, it was just, and he delivered it well. Like, of course the writers can give him those lines, but he delivered them well.
Yeah. Very, very memorable character for sure. I agree. Very charming. And so the brother, he starts interacting with another teenager or around his age that throughout the course of the movie. The dad has something that happens later on. The kid, the younger brother, ends up sort of interacting with the truck driver over the radio, and that ends up kind of turning into its own thing because the mom loses her ring, and there's a whole thing that's set up there. But until then, at one point, they stop at her college because they're having like a reunion thing, and they think that's going to be fun.
Debbie does all.
Yeah, Debbie does all is her nickname, and the people around college start being like, "Oh, aren't you Debbie does all?" and all this stuff, and they start talking about all this different shit she did, like. I like she slept with like a professor, and like
he put his finger up his dick.
Yeah, there's like a running gag about her putting her finger in different guys' penises, and being able to be like the king of the drinking game or whatever it is, like the chug party or the chug run.
She was the inventor of the chug run.
Yeah, the chug
where
run.
they chug a pitcher of beer and run through like an obstacle course.
Yep. She tries to do it. Doesn't work out so well.
She immediately pukes, tries to do it, and just gets fucking flatlined onto the grass.
Yeah, just barfs again and again. Yeah, it turns out, she can't party like she used to in her college days, Happens to the best of us. But let's see what else happens. Oh yeah. So, but then that whole thing sets up this whole insecurity thing with the dad, who now is feeling like inadequate because his wife has all this experience in her college days, and so
he was like asking her, so how many did you sleep with? And she like says, oh, 3? That's not bad. That's the same I had.
Yeah.
And then she was like, and he's like, no. And he was like, 13? Well, that's not bad either. College,
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, it was 30 about. And he's like, holy shit, I can't even get with 3. What the hell?
Yeah. Like, speaking of Clerks, it felt like a joke. It was kind of like lifted from that almost, So, and so then he's like, so he wants to get all like edgy and intense, and that of course comes into play later. But there's a few different little subplots that are going on throughout the course of this movie, because at one point they stop at Ed Helms' sister's husband's house.
Before this though, there's a part.
Oh yeah.
The hot springs.
Oh yes. So there was a part where they decide they want to go to a hot spring and enjoy the time in the hot water. We've all done maybe not all of us have done hot springs, but we all have done like hot bathtubs.
I'm familiar with the idea. Yeah. I've never done one.
Yeah. Oh, they're
not a natural one, at least.
Yeah, no, not a natural one. I haven't done a natural one yet either, but one day I may. But so they want to do it. There's a big line of cars, so it's like, is there a shortcut? And they ask some random fucking who was he? Like,
I laughed at this too.
Him. Yeah.
I laughed at this too. Like they were in the line and some guy was just walking down and was like, hey, he looked like a local. So Ed Helms asked him, hey, is there like a secret way we can get past this line?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, you can take the turn up in this random road.
Yeah.
And it Helms like
directly to a hot spring.
And then I liked that Ed Helms was like, oh, it's a cool pet rat you got. Because there was a rat. You could see just a rat crawling around shoulders the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you would have met, like you would think, oh, that is a pet rat, just because how nonchalant he was about it and how obvious the rat was just climbing around. He's like, oh, I like your pet rat. What's his name? And he's like, huh? What? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, that's not good. But then they lead him. They go up to the hot spring, quote unquote. And they get in. They're like chugging in and dealing.
Griswold Springs.
Yeah. And at first they're enjoying it. And and then they're kind of realizing it doesn't smell so good, and they're rubbing what they think is mud all over themselves. But then the movie, like, it kind of cuts to a shot of like a sign that says beware of like raw sewage. So it turns out it's not a hot spring, it's a sewage circle. They're like hanging out in a basically a cesspool. So they're like, oh, and they get out, they're all covered in shit and all
And
that
there's
stuff.
needles and shit.
Yeah, all kinds of nasty
Like one of the
stuff.
kids, like, oh, it's a dart, and it's like a
Oh, yeah.
fucking heroin
Yeah.
needle.
Yeah, the little boy picks up a dart and throws it at his brother, and his brother is like, knock it off. And so then they climb out of the hot spring, and of course their car's been ransacked, they've lost everything, and so it's like, well, that's not good. And so then they go to the sister's husband's, the father-in-law or whoever, the Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
was like
Rusty's sister
Yeah,
from
Rusty's
the
sister.
original is married to
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth's
Yes.
character.
Yes.
And I thought I honestly laughed at because the car was stolen, ransacked, but
Yeah.
also the spray painted dick on the
Yeah.
side, and they were trying to clean it off, but it looks like they were just
They're
jerking.
rubbing the
It looks like they're just
spray
jerking
paint.
off dick.
Yep.
I
so-
laughed. I can't
Yeah.
help it. Like this is so. This is like when this is the most national. Like I don't know. Like again, I don't remember if this was labeled National Lampoon, but this is
it's
definitely.
not, I don't think. Yeah.
I don't think it is. This is definitely the most National Lampoon feeling movie of the
Yeah.
three that
For sure.
wasn't labeled National Lampoon. And it's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just generally, in general, this really hits all the check marks. Because this does
rubbing off,
like,
like straight up, like they weren't like scrubbing like this. They were like scrubbing like they were jerking it off.
Yeah, and it's spray
The
paint,
spray
so of course
paint.
it's not gonna work. Yeah.
I just laughed
Ridiculous.
so fucking
Yeah.
hard. I was like, okay, you're stupid.
Yeah, no, this movie's totally shameless, and it's proud of it. And I think it was directed by the same folks who did that Dungeons and Dragons movie and Game Night too. John Francis Daly and
Good for them.
from Freaks and Geeks, and so I mean, I don't know, it seems like they are good at making movies. So because it's three very different types of movies: Game Night and this, and then Dungeons and Dragons.
All hilarious. All
Yeah.
really good in their own respects.
Yeah, solid quality. For sure. Because this does pretty much like follow in the tradition of all the old school like frat humor type movies from Animal House. What was it? Was Sorority Boys a National Lampoon movie? That one about the two dudes who dress up like women and the sorority girls.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that felt like one, but regardless, Van Wilder, that had the pastries made out of dog cum. Like, yeah, you gotta have the gross out gags and the goofy, just dick humor and fart humor and boobs and pussies and butt cheeks, all that stuff. It's great. And the sisters, of course, has this impressive husband who's like a manly man cowboy type, a big Dick Johnson dude. And there's even a gag.
I just am surprised. I did not know the writer director did Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah, which was a good movie, by the way.
I loved that movie. Shit.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's great.
Much better than the originals. So
that was an amazing movie.
it was. I really liked it a lot.
And it ties back into our last episode of what's his face?
Justice Smith.
Justice
Smith. Yeah, Justice Smith. Yeah, I always enjoy seeing Justice Smith and stuff, no matter like how weird or interesting or out there it is. Detective Pikachu or whatever. Hey, you Pikachu. It's
Detective Pikachu, yeah.
Detective
so
Pikachu.
Good. So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both, yeah. Detective Pikachu, Honor
Yeah.
Among Thieves, Dungeons and Dragons. Those are
Yeah.
I've loved the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. That was just so good.
Yeah, and also not to get into too much of a tangent, but
Yeah.
regarding Justice Smith, but that I saw the TV glowing, TV, the TV glow. I still keep thinking about that movie. So
It was good.
yeah, yeah, it must have done something right because it is growing on me, you know. So
Yeah.
It was good.
yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah. And then there's this whole thing with Ed Helms and Chris Hemsworth, where he wants to kind of try to be like at that level quality, which actually Hemsworth is being pretty chill and pretty cool for the most
Yeah.
part. He even says like, you guys got to respect your dad and all that stuff, but then
But he
you
is
know,
also hitting on Ed
yeah, his
Helms' wife.
insecurities, yeah, exactly,
He is straight up hitting on Ed Helms'
yeah,
wife.
that's true. Yeah, he is. And he even comes into their bedroom and starts like basically doing a physique thing where he's
It was
showing off his
hila-
abs and his
And he
yeah,
was just in his boxers, and they just like had a obvious like
dildo.
dildo in his pants, just like hanging
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
like, and he's just like putting in poses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That was funny. Yeah, and then of course the scene ends with Ed Helms saying, "God, seriously, he just came in to just show off his six pack. Like, why would he do that?"
Ignoring the bulge.
Yeah. And then the next morning they go ranching together, but that doesn't go well because then I guess this would be the equivalent of the dog scene in the original, where except instead of the dog in this one, it's a steer, which
I didn't find this as bad for some reason.
I don't know. That kind of bummed me out. To be honest, I like steers.
I get it. It's still an animal death,
But
but
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
as. It was more
Yeah,
cartoony
yeah. I mean, it was a lot gorier. So
because it didn't. It was just absolutely like not
absurd.
realistic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
It's
no,
just
for sure.
bunch of meat now.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah,
It was an ATV that ran into a cow.
yeah,
Like I think in the movie the cow exploded,
yeah.
but in real life I don't think the cow would explode.
Right.
The person it may have gotten hurt and probably died, but
Yeah,
also Ed Helms probably would have been gravely injured as well.
yeah. No, good point. Good point.
So I didn't necessarily see it on the same level because the dog thing was realistic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And like, okay, that actually could have happened.
yeah,
That
yeah. I
is
mean,
just
that's
an absurd thing that
this
is
felt more Monty Python.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
I didn't see this as bad as the dog scene in the original.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's bad. I just didn't really find it funny. You know, it's kind of
No,
more
I
of a
didn't find it
bummer
funny
type of thing.
either. It was just kind of dumb.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah, yeah,
I didn't find
um,
it offensive as the dog
yeah,
scene.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes it's all about tone and timing. You know. But let's see. Then they're on their way after that. Oh yeah, and I guess I should have mentioned sort of throughout the course of the movie they get sort of chased by this like truck driver with this teddy bear attached to the front of it, which there is an explanation for, which I actually kind of would rather not reveal that part on this episode. You know, you got to leave something for the viewers. You know, but
You got to keep
throughout the
those
course-
YouTube censors off us too.
that too, yeah, exactly. But there's this whole thing that happens where they get followed by the truck driver, and because the little brother gets on the CV radio, and he like asks him if he's a rapist, you know, which we don't want to dwell too much on that, but of course that is like a reoccurring question that the brother has throughout the movie, and so then they start getting followed by the truck driver, you know, so that's intimidating. And then also every time they stop at a hotel, the teenager like runs in, like the teenager keeps running into the other teenager.
And also
and
before
so-
that, there is
yeah.
that scene where they were being like pushed up. They try to outmaneuver the truck driver.
Yeah.
And they fucking flip over
Yes.
a bunch of
They're-
times. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they almost get they
He
get
he
into a
tries to
full-on
do
car
like that
accident.
He's like, I'm gonna do a Vin Diesel and do the handbrake U-turn. And as
Yeah,
soon as he does it, they just flip like
yeah,
30
didn't work.
times.
Yeah,
You think you're good as Vin Diesel? Yeah, he's just an actor. I can do that.
yeah, didn't work. But regardless, he tries it and gets into a car wreck, and it's a miracle they survive. And I mean,
Seatbelts.
yeah,
Wear
but
your
of course,
seatbelts, kids.
yep. There's also there actually is a scene where somebody dies where because Ed Helms is driving down the road and he makes eyes with this other
Yes.
person on the road, and then she just full on gets flattened.
I feel that's an original Vacation callback.
Yeah. Something like that does happen in the original. I don't remember what, but something like that does happen.
Yeah, he's kind of,
It's like,
oh hey, flirting with
yeah,
a good-looking girl, a good-looking woman in a
yeah.
convertible.
Oh well, in the original, that happens throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except in this one, that happens to the little brother instead of the dad.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And so he keeps running into the sister, or the not the sister, the other girl, the other teenage girl, whatever her name is, Cindy, and she eventually gives him the greatest advice in the world, which is, aren't you the older brother? Like, you know, like, why are you letting him boss you around? And that's when he basically, like, that's when all of his problems are solved. Because
And there's also, and yeah, before that, there's even that also funny scene of him at a hotel and it's like that hot tub scene in the original where Chevy Chase kind of sees that girl getting naked and stuff, but it's the kid that, and the girl comes up, but Ed Helms comes up and tries to be a wingman. But he just comes off as like, he doesn't say he's his dad. He just comes off as like a creepy stranger.
Yeah.
Trying
Hey,
to,
little boy.
Yeah. And it sounds like he's just hitting on his own son, being like a creepy, weird pedophile, like oh, don't you want to take your shirt off?
Somebody would be lucky to have you, you know, or whatever.
And the girl's like, "Do you want me to call the cops? This is he's a little
yeah." And she runs away. She just flat out leaves him behind, like. And then later, when she sees him again, is like, "Oh, did you get that guy off your back?" And he's like, "Oh, that was my dad. Don't worry about him." And it's like, "Oh, okay," you know. But yeah, so then, you know, she gives him the advice to stand up to his little brother, basically. And so he does. He basically just like full on tackles him to the ground and starts pinching his cheeks.
He just like pushes him. He's like, "Oh wait, you're tiny. I can just this is fun."
He barely does anything. And the kid's like, "Stop! I'm gonna tell mom," you know, all this stuff, and he's like yelling at him, and so then throughout the rest of the movie, they don't really have any more issues. Basically all the issues they have after that are with the parents. So but yeah, then there's a part where they go to the Grand Canyon. I mean, everything in the vacation on this vacation is just going wrong by this point. They go to the Grand Canyon hoping that it'll be a nice sort of water tour. And of course, the tour guide is Charlie Day from the It's Always Sunny, so that should give you the first hint that something's going to go wrong.
Actually, even before that, before they go, that they do the Four Borders scene.
Oh yes, there was that too. Yeah, at the hotel. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was the part I thought was the funniest scene in the movie. Ed Helms, in order to try and get one on Chris Hemsworth, is like, "Oh, you know, come with me, Christina Applegate, to the Four Corners so we can have sex in all 4 states." So they do that, but of course there's already, you know, it's like that scene in There's Something About Mary, when Ben Stiller falls out of the car and into the group of guys who are all blowing each other and gets arrested. It's kind of like that sort of thing, except and so they show up and it turns out there's like an army of people already there who are wanting to have sex at the Four Corners.
Yep.
And then all these different cops, like from each of the states, show
all
up.
4 states.
Yep.
Yeah, Caitlin Olsen from, right? That's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the cops, the casting was great. Tim Heidecker played the Utah cop.
Yeah.
Michael Pena, I think, right? Was the
Yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah, New Mexico. Yeah.
And Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll, and then Caitlin Olsen from Sunny, always.
Yeah.
And there's another one.
Yeah, and so they start arguing about who gets
Whose
to arrest these
jurisdiction
people.
was this?
Yeah, and so then they leave and hightail it back to the hotel, and
And it was also just a straight up orgy. There was like everyone was coming in to do the same exact thing.
yeah,
Sex
at the
on the Four Corners.
Yeah. Oh, man. So everybody leaves basically. Let's see. So yeah, then
the raft thing happens.
Yeah,
with
Then the raft scene, and So basically, Charlie Day, I'm just gonna call him that. He's like talking about it. He gets a call from his girlfriend, and or no, it's not his girlfriend. It's his fiance, which is even worse. And she calls it off, breaks up with him. And he's like, no, wait, can't we just have? And he flips out, throws the cell phone into the water, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna give you guys this tour now, yeah. And he's like trying to be all happy, but then he ends up, then that song "Without You" starts playing, which is never a good sign in a movie. It's usually something sad is gonna happen when that song plays. And sure enough, in this movie, something sad does happen, and he ends up basically becoming suicidal and decides to drive the canoe off the waterfall. So it's this big intense dramatic scene, and so the family, they barely survive. They're completely traumatized and are ready to just call it quits on the whole vacation. And I think it's about this point that they run out of gas too, from what I understand, right? Or
Thanks. So.
Yeah. So they're like doubly doomed.
They're like in the middle of nowhere, and Ed Helms just keeps kicking tumbleweeds, just like rocks and fucking fire hydrant.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And at one point, I think he presses a button and the whole car blows up.
Yep.
Yeah. And then they see the truck driver, and it's like, oh crap. And then
Norman Reedus.
Yep. Norman Reedus. He gets out of the truck and he, is like, well, did this belong to you? Turns out the wedding ring that Christina, the wife, lost earlier in the movie. He that was what he was doing. He was trying to give them the wedding ring back, and he ends up giving them a lift. And there's like a creepy moment, and because like the kid, he's like still asking him if he's a rapist, and he doesn't really answer. He kind of leaves it ambiguous, and then he kind of says something that implies that he's a pedophile. Yeah,
because he's like, why do you keep the teddy bear on the front? It comforts the kids.
Yeah, exactly. So the pedophile saves the day in the National Lampoon comedy, go figure. And so then they go to the bed and breakfast. And of course, as soon as they show up at the bed and breakfast, there's a couple who are ranting about how it's the worst bed and breakfast. And the door opens and it's Chevy Chase, so there's that. And he basically plays the patriarch of the family who's there and is like he's pretty much the same character in the original, except now he owns the worst bed and breakfast, and he treats his guests like shit. At one point, they're in the hot tub, or no, they're not in the hot tub. They're having dinner, and they're like, "Oh, can we join you?" And he just says like, "Get out," or whatever, or "Go away," or "Leave us alone," or something like that. It's like not the way you want to treat your guests. And the whole family doesn't want to go to Wally World anymore. They would just want to take a flight back home. But in the end, they end up going to Wally World anyway. And let's see, I guess just to summarize, because there's not really a whole lot else that happens. They go on a roller coaster. They end up having a fight with the family for it, like with another family who I don't know what their deal. If they have like they're some sort of VIP pass type.
Yeah, it's
deal.
Ron
Yeah.
Livingston.
Yeah, that's it.
He comes in the beginning because he's a hot
Yeah.
shot,
Yeah.
hot shot pilot, international pilot. But
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
comes in, he's like, "Oh, is that you?" And then they just have like a slow motion fight scene
Yeah.
with him and
Yeah. Pretty epic, you know. But they get to go on the roller coaster. And oh yeah, so here's another thing that happens throughout the course of the movie is that Seal song, Kiss from a Rose, like that's on the radio, and the Ed Helms sings it a lot, you know. So, and of course his family can't stand it, but then by the time they're on the roller coaster, it's like, oh yeah, this song, and they start singing it. Well, actually, they just sing it together, kind of spontaneously, like a family. And like the roller coaster gets stuck or something. There's like some things that happen, and like and the movie pretty much ends. There's like a slideshow of like bad family vacation photos. And Chevy Chase at one point reveals that Chris Helmsworth is a shitty husband, so Ed Helms doesn't even have to worry about him. And everything works out. They're a fucked up family, but in the end, they all love each other, and that's what matters most. So, Vacation.
2015.
Yeah, Vacation 2015 specifically.
Yeah.
So, just like how you have to, when you talk about the Halloween movies, you have to call them Halloween '08 or Halloween 2007, 2000, whenever that came out, and Halloween 2019 or whatever, like, or 2018. Yeah, I don't even know what they're called. Anyway, same thing with this Vacation 2015, or as I like to call it, National Lampoon's Vacation 2015. So, pretty solid comedy. I mean, like I said, I kind of got tired of it after a while. Like, but I kind of feel the same way about the original too. Though, is like, there's only so much of Chevy Chase's energy I can stand, and Chevy Chase in the original, like, he wears me out, and I do find him funny, but only in small doses. Really, like I like him in skits and stuff. I don't really enjoy Chevy Chase like throughout the course of an entire movie. Caddyshack, I could handle. That wasn't too bad. Memoirs of an Invisible Man, meh. But the original Vacation, like mostly the reason I find that funny is for the side characters, like the cousin Eddie or whatever, and all those that whole family. That was fucking hysterical to me. This new one, it had some pretty funny moments in it. I enjoyed it. I liked the jokes. I'd give it about the same rating as I would the original, like 2.5. Like pretty solid remake / legacy sequel in my eyes. But yeah, like maybe 3. Actually, maybe I'd give them 3 because they're both pretty entertaining. Actually, now that I think about it, so they're just not my go-to comedies, I guess. But I still like them.
Oh.
What about you guys? Do you have anything else you want to say?
Not really. I enjoyed it for the most part, but like you said, the humor kind of got old after a while.
Yeah.
So you give it a 2.5, around there.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
In the same ballpark. I laughed at least. Besides the other 2 ones, I didn't. So like this one,
Yeah.
there were funny jokes in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I got the sense you thought it was funnier than we did, but
I'd give it like a 3. Just because
Yeah.
it was dumb, but like funny still. Like,
yeah.
none of it made sense, and a lot of it, but like,
Yeah. And there were some, gross out jokes and stuff, but it wasn't like super, super edgy. Like it was, it's mostly just kind of the dad being awkward was most of the real weird stuff, and then like some puking, some boobs, and some things like that. Nothing too crazy, it's relatively gentle as far as these kinds of movies go, but still like not still like coarse enough that you can still like enjoy it. Like it's obviously grosser than like Meet the Parents or something like that. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right, cool. And I guess that concludes our National Lampoon movie special, our National Lampooniverse discussion. Do you guys ever want to do another one? Just let me know, because National Lampoon, it's always fun. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll check out that Gold Diggers movie. I know that exists, but I just never watched it. So yeah.
Still a lot of interesting sounding ones.
Yeah, there is. Okay. So now my last question before we end this. Should we do the Tubi roulette, or should we do just the roulette wheel in general? Like, what do you want to do? Or should we do both?
Either one.
We
I don't know.
We still have those other movies on deck too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We still have two more that we're gonna do: the Tainted and Half Past Dead. We still got to talk about those. So that'll be our next episode, probably, I would say. So yeah. But do you guys want to do a roulette thing before we end this, or should we just end it and do the roulette thing next time?
Don't matter to me. Do one now.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys? Yeah. If you guys aren't tired enough, then sure, let's give it a shot.
I gotta try to stay up all night. I gotta work.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
All right,
I'm good.
All right, excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just do a random episode roulette thing then, so that we can just decide the theme or whatever.
Not Tubi roulette.
We could also do that if you want, and then we could just decide what to do first after we do the Half Past
You want to do the Tubi roulette now, and then the theme one for the other two?
Yeah. Let's do the Tubi roulette one first. Why not?
Or yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right. I mean, if it's okay with you, yeah. Let's do a twofer, since this is our beefy National Lampoon episode. So.
The long awaited.
Yes. We got to give our fans what they want. So.
All right. So if you guys want to choose your numbers.
Oh, I choose the. Oh yeah.
1 and 1462.
Oh, good. All right. I'm gonna choose the number 812.
812.
I'll do 572. 572.
All right. So 812
Yeah.
is Return to Savage Beach. It's an Andy Sedaris movie.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let me write this down.
Okay. Yeah. Return to Savage Beach. I gotta remember that title.
Now you said 517, Nick?
72.
572. $572 is Ghastlies from 2016.
How do you spell that? Gas?
Ghastlies.
Ghastlies. Okay.
I'm going to do a random number.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I got 1275.
Ooh.
Almost.
What was it?
Almost there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so mine is Survival of the Dead.
Oh, interesting. Okay, okay. With George Romero?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Excellent. Okay, yeah, let's watch it. So I'd be curious to rewatch that one.
So Return to Savage Beach, Ghastlies, and Survival of the Dead.
Nice.
Excellent. Good, 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 good. All right. All right. Now, do we spin the wheel of death?
Yeah, we can do that too.
Okay. I'm scared.
Here, I'll do
Oh, yeah.
the share screen thing. I should have done that for the other.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Oh, disabled screen sharing. Okay.
Oh,
Hold
okay,
on. I
that's all right.
can. I think I can make you screen share somehow. Can you do it now?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Here we go. Special
that?
wheel. Yes,
Yeah.
I can see it.
How did I do it? Just 3 clicks last time?
Yeah. I think we do 3 clicks and then it just lands on
Or just
something.
one? I guess just one.
I guess one, yeah. Why not?
The big ass list.
It
Yeah.
is. What did it land on?
Starring rappers.
Excellent. Excellent. I'll try to think of a good one.
All right. A little play off of our Snoop Dogg episode, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think I mentioned on the episode. I wonder how many movies exist out there that star rappers.
Stop screen share.
Oh. All right, I think it works now. Oh, wait,
Okay.
where's the gallery view? There we go. I think it works. Cool. Nice. All right. Well, I guess so. We're gonna do an episode about rappers deciding that they want to act. Take a break from music for a change, and we're gonna do some Tubi movies. So I'm looking forward to these episodes. And in addition to those, we got our Tainted Half Past Dead special. So until then, good night, everybody, and I hope that you got your money's worth.
Yes. Have a good one.
See ya.